there we go. Welcome to the stream, and welcome to this early access flash tournament. Today we're going to have 4 competitors. We're going to be competing for a massive prize pool of $50. Yes, it's going to be a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's a little bit early for me. Not much of a morning person. Had to deal with Wookie and our other pooch here. We were causing some problems, disturbing our neighbors. Always a good time. But yeah, it's going to be an early access tournament. It's going to be 2 best of 3s followed by a best of 5 finals. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket for the day. So in game 1, it's going to be Falcon facing off against Romulan Dog. 2, of course, very savvy veterans of the Ever-Chosen Invitational. And then in round 2, we're going to have Aerocrastic facing off against King of the Dead. So thank you guys so much for joining. I saw that we actually have a couple donations right out of the gates. You guys just coming in with the steel chairs. We have Mr. Medic, who is a new member here on the channel, so he has indeed sponsored. We have The Spark with 50 DKK. And Sir Swag-a-Lot with 500 NOK. So I don't know how much that is. Let's actually go ahead and double check. 500. Yeah, thank you so much. And that is a $58 donation. So man, thank you so much. That is extremely generous, both of you guys. And hopefully you're ready for some action here. So we're going to be jumping into the first match. Let's go and do this. We got the Wookiee up, and it is about time. So we're in the first game, and it's going to be Lizardmen versus Chaos, I believe. I think Falcon is going to be playing Lizardmen. Romulan Dog is going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos. We might get Alberic today. Alberic, I don't believe, has had any substantial stat changes. I think he had a couple minor tweaks, but for the most part, the biggest thing he got was his new trident, so it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, game 1 is going to be Falcon, who did get second place in the Ever-Chosen Invitational with a very, very solid finals, best of 5 against Tlaxla and Soothsayer. And he's going to be facing off against Romulan, who has been a semi-finalist. Yeah, he's also gotten second place against Tlaxla and Soothsayer in one of the previous Ever-Chosens, and has done pretty well in most of them. So it's showtime, guys. Here we go. Welcome, welcome. The Spark coming in with the fat donation as well. Thank you, man, for dog biscuits. Well, Spark, the dogs are right behind me. They certainly appreciate your donation. The dog will be removed. Don't worry. I just do it for the screen blocker, but it looks like they started the battle already because I thought they needed longer to pick, but I guess not. So, firstly, Falcon is going to be leading the Lizardmen. You know, he's a Lizardman mate. Extremely good player here. He's going to be using the Red Crested Skink Chief. So this guy does have a couple cool abilities. So let's go ahead and take a look. So firstly, he does have the Warrior's Crest. So this makes the Stegodon actually not a terrible duelist, because the big thing about Stegodons is they compensate for their low combat stats with the bonus for his infantry. But with the Warrior's Crest, this bad boy is going to be rocking 66, like 60 plus melee attack, 50 plus melee defense. It is going to be pretty burly. On top of that, he does have the Opal Amulet. So this guy's going to be able to take a beating from Shaggus and, hopefully do well for himself. For the main line, he does have a combination of the Red Crested Skinks, and they're going to be mixed in. I don't know if he has the Regiments of Renown. It looks like he does have one group of Temple Guard here in the middle, and up here in the front, he does have the Copox Cohort. So these guys are going to be very, very solid against Chaos. They don't rampage, so if they get caught in a bad situation, they're not going to just, they'll just die to halberds or something like that, which is going to be quite nice. Anti-large, armor piercing, and more importantly, they're also immune to psychology. So against Kolek and Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, these guys are going to be pretty sustainable. He does also have Croc scores in the back, so they got their spanking paddles ready to help out their little skink buddies. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these Red Crested Skinks change the Chaos matchup, because it gives you cheap AP in the front line, which typically you had to rely on Temple Guard and Croc scores for, which is pretty neat stuff. Yes, Total War Doom. And yeah, that was the BFG division. That is the kind of the main. I mean, Rip and Terra, arguably from the Doom soundtrack, is just as popular, but I think that's kind of the heart and soul of Doom. He does also have the Ancient Salamander, so Sally's going to be coming in, and the Ancient Salamander is much better, in my opinion, than the Hunting Packs. It's just more cost effective. The Hunting Packs are very squishy, and I find that they just die too quick to like cheap units. I mean, yes, they're fast and they can kite, but the Ancient Salamander is, he's just steady. This guy does the trick, and with single entities, you're not going to be losing, damage output over the course of a battle if they take damage. They're going to be at full fighting capacity. Plus, I think he's just better all around than the Hunting Packs. So he's going to be trying to roast some of these Shaggus. And for the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be helmed by the glorious Romulan Dog, he does have Kolek Sun Eater, and on top of that, he does have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. So pretty standard stuff for fighting the dinos. This was kind of the old textbook, right? You just get the 2 big Shaggus, you go fisticuffs with the Carnosaurs and see who wins, which was always fun. So yeah, we got a couple new units, the Spark, don't worry. We have the Ancient Salamander, and I believe the Red Crested Skink Chief over there. And also I forgot to mention that Falcon does have Lore of Heavens up in the sky, so he does have the Skink Priest with the Wind Blast, which is always a pretty solid pick. And Romulan Dog, as far as the army goes, it's going to be a combination of Marauders and Halberds across the entire front line. He does also have a couple of great weapons mixed in, so very, very good stuff here from Romulan. You're going to need the great weapons to deal with Temple Guard, because if you don't respect them, they will just beat the brakes off you, so that's going to be very, very good. A couple Poison Warhounds to chase down Skinks, and he does also have Lore of Metal with the final transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. So he has some variety. Most likely, we're going to be seeing the Shagus go for an Alpha Strike on the Red Crested Skink Chief, followed up by the Overcasted Final Transmutation there to really take that guy down pretty quick. But again, he does have the Opal Amulet and has plenty of protection with Croxagores. I mean, they have decent mass to kind of stop Shagus, not kill them per se, but it's going to be a good fight. So let me go ahead and check on the players and start when ready. Oh yeah, it's go time. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I know we're pretty early here, but we have a pretty long day of competition. We got 2 best of 3s, followed up by a best of 5 finals, pretty similar to the Eternal Challenger League. And as a matter of fact, this is just an early access standalone tournament, but over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm not sure on an exact date yet, but we will be starting the Eternal Challenger League again. MGL Kaiser, I'm doing very good. Thank you for asking. Welcome to the stream, man. And game 1 of this early access flash tournament is underway. Falcon facing off against Romulan Dog, and here we go. So the Lizardmen are going to be advancing forward, and they actually do have the skirmish advantage. This Ancient Salamander is very quick, 75 speed. I think Shagus are pretty close. Kolek's actually a little bit faster with 78 and 76 on the standard Shagus, but nonetheless, the Salamander should be able to run to cover and just get away. And if they waste time chasing the Salamander, it's not going to be good for them. So he's going to be able to poke, and it's really going to change the matchup. Those plus the Red Crested Skinks. I'm really eager to see how these bad boys do against the Chaos Warriors. I think Red Crested Skinks will trade very effectively with Halberds. So if Falcon's going to be trying to get anything, I think that's going to be a really good matchup there. So Sally's going to be taking her first pot shots, and she actually has pretty good splash damage as well. She's able to take out 2 models right away, and it wasn't really even a square hit, so the Ancient Salamander is pretty good against large targets. Ooh, and a huge Wind Blast going down from Falcon. That was the thing of beauty. Did hit Marauders, unfortunately. Didn't get the Halberds quite as much, but the splash attacks coming in there, so some pretty good initial damage here from Dinos, and it looks like there's going to be some Javelins coming in from the Skink cohorts, but Romulan Dog isn't one to sit back and wait. These big old Chagus are going to be coming in with their beat sticks, and that one unfortunate little skink right there does get clubbed, but it looks like they're going to be falling back pretty quick here. Up in the skies, you can see the Skink Priest has taken a little bit of damage, maybe some friendly fire. I'm not sure how he took that. It was probably from the Overcast, actually. So here you go. You can see the Javelins are just going to be peppering the Shagus, and in the back, Romulan Dog is going to be circling up and around with these Poison Hounds, looking for an opportunity to maybe get into some of these Skinks in the soft spot, because if he engages from the front, attacks in the back with the Hounds, it's going to be, pretty much an instant rout on those guys. Over here, the Red Crested Skink Chief is going to be positioning to fend off these Hounds and maybe do a bit of a collapse on this flank. He has to be very careful. The Shagus could easily beat him down, but if he does have the Pox cohort, it'll be a pretty even fight for the most part. So the Salamander's doing pretty good. The first of the fighting on the far side, the Chaos Marauders have engaged in the front line with the Skink cohorts, but the Salamander doing some huge splash damage against those Chaos Marauders and Aspiring Champions. Very, very solid stuff from him so far. As far as kills, it's already up to 33 this early in the battle. That is really good. So the Javelin's going to be peppering down this Dragon Ogre Shagath right here, and the Chaos Infantry taking quite a beating from the Ancient Salamander. So this guy is really, really just having a great performance so far. So these guys are just going to be moving forth, getting ready to engage the Dinos, but the Chaos is looking a little bit tattered on some of their units. These Halberds here, let's go ahead and watch this damage. Wow, that took out 10 models. Huge damage from the Ancient Salamander. Very, very good value. And the Shagus are also getting poked down. I think that Falcon is having a very, very good early game. And you can see the Pox cohort going to be charging into the back of these Halberds. Now, if he pulls back really quick, like he is, I mean, obviously he has very good micro. He's probably going to be able to get some free damage on those guys. And you can see the minigun here on the Red Crested Skink Chief is still putting in some hurt on this Dragon Ogre Shagus. So the Chaos Warriors are going to be engaging. Temple Guard are going to be fighting against Chaos Warriors' great weapons. This is going to be a pretty good engagement for the Chaos Warriors here. But again, Temple Guard will still beat them. They're just a better unit all around. So the fighting is underway. The Shagus are going to be beelining, just trying to get this Red Crested Skink Chief, but I don't think they're going to be able to get that ass for free. You can see here that Pox cohort is here to kind of collapse inward if they need to. The Halberds are going to be screening though, so Romulan doesn't have a bad situation, but the Skinks are swarming in. Poison Hounds in the back need to attack the Salamander. They need to shut Sally down. She's doing so much work, up to 52 kills, and this is just beautiful play by Falcon. He's just grabbing the Red Crested Skink Chief, and he's just blitzing down the formation away from the Shagus, and this thing is doing so much damage against his formation, and it looks like there's going to be a Searing Doom going down here, perhaps from the Warriors of Chaos. But nonetheless, Kolek, the Mountain God himself, is able to collapse his flank with the Halberd, so the Dinos here in a little bit of trouble. Red Crested Skink Chiefs are shaken and also charging. Look at that. But the Salamander is still shooting up to 57 kills. But the Warriors of Chaos have taken a very dominant position over here on this flank. And the Pox cohort really just got punished. These guys just got put in a can horribly, so they're shaken. They do have the cold blood to kind of keep them fighting. Falcon definitely wants to keep them alive, because even still, at 14 models, they have some decent damage output. So the battle, both players pretty much took a flank. Falcon did overload this side, so he took his big dinosaur, he ran down here and was able to just rout off all these Chaos Warriors. But it looks like Chaos was pretty heavily able to take this flank. However, the bounce power is in the favor of the dinosaurs. The Dragon Ogre Shagath here is a little bit beat up, and Sally is just poking and having some fun. There's still some very healthy Temple Guard, and you can see the Warriors of Chaos are looking pretty beat up. I mean, they have some Aspiring Champions, some Halberds here, but aside from the Dragon Ogres, they don't seem to have too much. But again, those Dragon Ogres are going to be a big threat. Scroll of Shielding is going to be going down on Kolek as he pounds on these Temple Guard, and he does kind of claw his way back into the battle. Those are very, very powerful high-value units, and if the Salamander runs out of ammo, it has to get close and fight. It's going to be a messy one. And a huge final transmutation is going to be coming down right here. Overcasted. So this is what Romulan Zog needs to get back in this game. He casts the final transmutation. It hits everything. It hits the Temple Guard, the Croc scores, all of these guys. That was just so good right there, and that might be able to get him back in the game. But the Red Crested King Chief coming in with the Warrior's Crest and the Foe Seeker. He's in pretty good shape right here, and he's actually putting a little bit of hurt on the Shaggus, and he does have the support of the Temple Guard. The Red Crested Skinks are able to just beat down these aspiring champions. Look at these proud little boys with their big old clubs, just clubbing these aspiring champions as they try and retreat. Pretty crazy stuff right here. So the battle's still pretty even. I would say maybe a slight advantage for the Dinos as this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is taking a lot of damage here. You can see that the Chaos Sorcerer Metal. Oh, and a huge rear charge coming in. The Pox cohort getting into the back of Kolek and this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. And if he's able to break Kolek's leadership, I think that's going to be game blouses because he can just chase him off the battlefield. That was a beautiful rear charge. It just shows it's really important to even save tattered units because they can make a huge difference. So Salamander trying to shoot over here on the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. The Red Crested Skinks were able to beat down the Aspiring Champions and a lot of the Chaos Infantry. We do have some Halberds over here still fighting and some Chaos Warriors, and a couple Chaos Warriors are making their way back to the battle. But that is going to be game one going to Felcon in this best of 3 series. So Kolek and company, the Red Crested Skink Chief, a very good duelist. Even though he's on a Stegodon, which is a bonus for his infantry piece, he still was able to use that the Warrior's Crest to make him just so juicy. But Romulan Zog had a beautiful play at the end. He was able to get that final transmutation, almost pulled himself back in the game, but the Ancient Salamander plus the initial poke, I think, softened up the Chaos pretty well. I mean, the Dragon Ogre took a lot of damage, and on top of that, some of the Chaos Infantry really just got buttered up. So that is going to be game one for Felcon, and that was a close game. It was a relatively quick one, but I would say it was close and, very contested there. Kolek Sun Eater was able to do some work and, eventually get some damage in there, but I felt like there was just too much anti-large. The Temple Guard plus the Pox cohort and all those troops were really able to keep him at bay. So well played there. So on that note, we are going to update the scoreboard here in just a moment. It's going to be 1-0 for Felcon here, and it is a best of 3. So we're going to be jumping over to the local desk here. We'll see you in just a second. Yeah, the Salamander, Sally was mean for sure. We're going to get Wookie up to make sure that nobody can see the builds. Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? The Salamander did really, really well. GG. Game 2. And don't worry, I know what you guys are here for. You're here for the new stuff. So most of the players are going to be playing with the new builds, new units. So in this game, we're going to have Felcon playing the Beastmen. He's going to be facing off against Romulan Zog, who shall be playing the Skaven. So you guys got to see Lizardmen in the last game, a couple new units. And now it is time for the Skaven. So perhaps some Giselles and Rattling Gunners and all that sort of good stuff. Ride the Lightning, James Hetfield. Yeah, I always felt like Wookiee looks like James Hetfield from Metallica. I don't know why. Also, we have another donation while we were in the game there from Constantine. Thank you so much for the €2. Really appreciate it, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream, and welcome. Welcome to the party. We're only 22 minutes in. We've already had one really, really solid game. Probably going to have another 2 hours at the very least. So let's see your question here. What armor does the Salamander have and what to? So the Ancient Salamander has 90 or 95 armor, I think. Has 75 speed. Its armor piercing is pretty damn good on its attacks, if that's what you're asking. So it's designed to kill armored stuff. Or light stuff. It has really good explosion damage, so it's able to actually do damage to infantry and big targets. It's really good. Yeah. Flamin' hot Cheeto breath. I don't have any... I wasn't given any copies of the DLC to give away, but... Perhaps this week, maybe I'll just buy some on my own and give them away on future streams. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if that was something that was being done by like Creative Assembly or other streams, but yeah, we'll see. I love playing the Skaven. They're one of my favorite, and we're going to be on the Storm Demon, which is actually Ikit Claw's own map. I believe it's a quest battle of his in the campaign. I'm not sure, but we're going to be on the Storm Demon for the next one. I think it might be your internet, Sigma Fight, because it seems like it's steady for everyone else. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's cool about the Salamander. It does cause terror. So once it does run out of ammo, you can bring it in the late game, and it's not a terrible fighter. So you can get that bad boy in and do pretty well for yourself. Yeah, I think the Ancient Salamander is one of the better units on the of the new Lizardmen troops. I think the Red Crested Skink is probably the best in terms of like, I'm not talking regiments of renown. I'm just talking about like just the new units. I think the Red Crested Skink is probably the most useful. He causes poison. He has good AP. It's just like gives you so much more variance in your builds. The Ancient Salamander would probably be number 2 for me, and number 3 would be the Ripperdactyls. Yeah. Yeah, drop a like if you are enjoying the stream. I know we're pretty early. It does help out quite a bit from a business perspective, so I do appreciate it, guys. The theme song for this deal should be For Whom the Bells Tolls. Couldn't agree more. Metallica's so great. Yeah, like Ride the Warp Lightning. Well, I've used that as a thumbnail before, where it has like the album cover for Ride the Lightning, and then it just has like a Skaven. I mean, I've done that before. It's pretty solid for sure. Yes, Eric, you get to watch the stream, man. The doggo is only covering the build, so you guys can't see Falcon's build. Start. Oh, Romulan Dog says he has that perfect spend. Oh man, this is trouble. This is trouble for Falcon here. I'm really eager to see how the Beastmen do against the new Skaven. I'm sure Falcon has something pretty clever thought up, so we'll see how it goes. The Sally is a little bit squishy, but she still has 95 armor, very low combat stats, but the Ancient Salamander is much tankier. It's a much better choice, I think, in competitive play. I think in campaign, either one is going to be fine, but in competitive play, I think that the Ancient Salamander is going to be a better choice. By far. I actually have a video coming out in a couple days, which is, it's basically the top 5 units in the DLC, but it's not talking about Regiments of Renown. It's just like talking about the best units for multiplayer. So you guys will see that coming out probably maybe tomorrow or the next day. It's already recorded. I just have to edit it a little bit. So Ride the Warp Lightning, man. Ride the Lightning is so cool. All right. So we're going to be on Storm Demon, which is a very, very cool map. So let's go ahead and get rid of the screen blocker now that we don't need it anymore, and we are good to go. Yeah, so if you actually look in the distance on this map, let's see if we can catch one. You could actually see like comments coming down. It looks so damn cool. What's the stats of this new Wookiee unit? So he has the Foul Stench that gives minus 100 melee attack to all nearby troops. Fear and Terror. Yeah, just all that good stuff. Pestilent Aura, whatever you want to call it. Alberic, yeah, Alberic does have an anti-large aura. Yeah, he does. He does have the anti-large. I love Metallica, for sure. One of my favorite bands. I've seen him twice. I saw Metallica back in 2000. What year was I? Was so young. I was like 12 years old. That was a pretty intense experience. Like, I went to see Metallica, and there was a bunch of like new metal bands like opening for them. It was Metallica, like Linkin Park, Mudvayne. It was like, this was like early 2000s. I saw them in, I think it was 2001. That was pretty fun. I think that was right when around when Saint Anger came out, which wasn't the best album, but nonetheless, that was pretty good. Then I got to see them in like 2012 or 13 up at a festival in Northern California. So that was fun. But they do a lot of like pyrotechnics like at their concerts, and I was like pretty close to the front. I like had like some permanent hearing loss, I swear, from like one of their, like the pyrotechnics went off like right next to my head. Yeah. It was pretty wild. But anyways, for the build of Falcon, so he's going to be playing the Beastie Boys. He does have the Bray Shaman with the Lore of Shadows, Enfeebling Foe, and it looks like there's going to be a sweet pendulum there. And a lot of bacon. Razorgore Herds, he's got 2 group of the Wendy's bacon burgers here. And these guys, you know, decent mass against Skaven. If they do go with elite troops, it's going to give you some AP. But nonetheless, they have okay mass. They can pin down Doom Wheels and Flayers. So maybe this is a bit of a pick against the new Doom Flayers. We'll see. On top of that, in the front line, it's going to be Gore Herds with shields. And I like the Vanguard deployment here from Falcon. Going to get closer to the Skaven. Obviously, close the distance with their guns. And yeah, it's not bad at all. So he does have a bunch of Gore Herds, the Blackhorns Ravagers in the front, and on top of that, he does have 3 groups of standard Centaurs, which are going to be better, I think. They're fast, they're shielded, you don't really need the great weapons. I mean, the great weapons are good against Flayers and Doom Wheels, but I think these guys are a safer pick, and they're going to be able to block Skirmisher fire, they can get on the Rattling Gunners, they're very quick, and yeah, these guys are going to be a big threat. And we have Kazrak One Eye, so I guess maybe Falcon doesn't think he's as much of a meme as I do, but nonetheless, he does have Kazrak, and I think he's really just going to be trying to get into that front line, and or the back line with the mass of his chariots and Centaurs and cause some problems. So this is going to be it for the Army of Falcon, and a couple Raiders here in the back to poke, and Raiders are very good. They have stock, they can close the distance on Jezzails and Rattling Gunners and get some pretty good damage. So here we are, and it looks like there's going to be some Vanguard in the back of Centaurs, and for the forces of Romulan Dog, he does have the Wheels of Doom. So the Wheels of Doom is the new Regiment of Renown here for the Wheel of Doom, or the Doom Wheel. And it causes terror, but more importantly, its combat stats are relatively similar. It has the same weapon strength as a standard Doom Wheel, but where it has an advantage is in the fact that, well, it has, you know, better melee attack and melee defense, but it has way more missile damage. I believe the standard missile damage on Doom Wheels is like in the 70s, give or take, or 100, give or take. I can't quite remember. But this guy does have 203, so it zaps really, really hard. He's got a couple Rat Ogres, which are going to be nice for stopping Centaurs, just give you some high mass. He's got some Slingers in the back. He does have the Ikit's Zap, so this is the new ROR Warp Lightning Cannon. And this guy's going to be pretty good against the Beastcaster. If he's just shooting at the caster, he's going to be able to add to the cooldown time. So if you look here, it does have this ability. Come on, give it to us. Yes. Zap. So whenever it hits something, it adds 10 seconds to the ability recharge. So if you're constantly shooting a caster and making contact, it can make it very tough for them to cast spells. In the front, he does have a Plague Priest for the summons. He does have Ikit Claw. So Ikit Claw is going to be on his Doom Wheel as well. So we do have the double Doom Wheel, Ikit Claw, in his own very fancy pimped out Doom Wheel, which is just way better. It has great combat stats, way more weapon strength, and he does have the Brass Orb, the Storm Demon as well on the Storm Demon map, I think. No, he doesn't. Just unlimited power, but he does have the Brass Orb. And it looks like he does have Howling Warp Gale. He has Scorch, so Going with Lore of Ruin as well as the summons, and the Natty Bubo Sharpshooter. So these guys are pretty much a must bring in every single matchup. They have stalk, they have snipe, they do a ton of damage. You could just pick off lords. Kazrak's going to be in trouble if the sharpshooters are able to shoot for too long and just kind of pick him off. So beautiful build here from Romulan. As far as the new units, we have the Ikit Zapclaw, we have Ikit Claw on his Doom Wheel, we have the Arwar Doom Wheel, and the Natty Bubo's Sharpshooters, which are the Arwar of the Warlock Jezzails. Nice little force here. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. There was Salamanders, Bobby. So Bobby Baker, I believe I have it enabled on my stream, but if you go back and watch the last game, there was an ancient salamander that did a ton of work. Just go back and watch it. It was a lot of fun, man. And of course, the video will be up later for anyone who's joining and you missed earlier games. I always put it up later, so. Ah, some good ass water. All right, so start when ready. Look at this beast force. Just a huge vanguard here. We have the Blackhorns Ravagers, we have the Goreherds with shields, we have the Raiders in position. Everybody's ready to go. I know, Natty Light. You know there's going to be some meme thumbnails with the Natty Bubos, just with like Natty Light beers and stuff. It's going to be great. We have the glorious Shadow Online Gaming joining us in chat. If you guys haven't seen his channel, please make sure to check him out. He's an awesome guy, does a lot of tournaments. You know, puts in a lot of work in this multiplayer community. So yes, it's 2 best of 5s with the 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 final. So should be about 2 hours, give or take. The best of 5s usually take quite a bit longer, but yeah, it's a very tight deployment on the Storm Demon, but nonetheless, it looks like Romulan Zog was able to get a pretty good little position here, and yeah, he should be fine. His force is spread out enough, but it's not the best multiplayer map, but it looks so cool, and there's literally like warp comets coming down to the background, so I felt like it's a very good map to kind of showcase Ikit Claw. But you know, players have to overcome adversity, and yeah, we'll see. So the Sharpshooter is going to be shooting in on some of these Goreherds initially. Obviously, he has them on auto fire, but here in a moment, he's going to be switching those guys onto the appropriate target. So the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to be going back here and also just wasting on top of these Goreherds with shields. So Romulan is probably going to be switching targets, and he needs to be careful, though. There is some line of sight blocking here, but you can see the Jezzails are going to be opening up on the Butchers. So thankfully, the Butchers do have silver shield, so it's not going to be like pure punishment, but they're still going to be taking some work. Oh my goodness, and that Zap Cannon just decimating those guys. Taking out a model, just putting them down to half health. And yeah, Falcon needs to like hide those guys behind the hill because that is some really good value initially for Romulan. And the Wheels of Doom are going to be charging in, just running over these foul beasts, just zapping in every direction. Look at this guy just getting in there. And the Baconators from Falcon are going to be intercepting, so beautiful play there. He's able to countercharge that really well, and the Bacon will do some good damage to the Wheels of Doom. So he needs to get those guys out of there. In the back line, it's absolute anarchy. You can see the Centaurs have gotten in here. The Rat Ogres are going to be intercepting. These Skaven Slaves with spears or Clan Rats are going to be fighting Kazrak, but Kazrak is pretty scary. I mean, he might be able to actually fend off these defenders. But it looks like the backline is relatively compromised. I mean, Falcon is taking some damage from the Ogres, but for the most part, I would say it's a really, really good backline situation here for Falcon, as these Centaurs just slam into there and just Space Jam. Ikit Claw, in the meantime, is getting attacked by the Bacon, and it seems like the Razorgore herds here are just doing so much work, and with that, the balance of power already going heavily in the favor of the Beastmen here. The backline just got taken to town. I mean, look at this. This is brutal stuff. Falcon just with some insane micro. The Centaurs get into the Natty Bubo Sharpshooters. The Warp Lightning Cannons in the back just get taken apart. A lot of just disastrous situations for the Skaven. Now, they still have the Wheels of Doom, but the Baconators are just doing so good at shutting these guys down. Just such value. You can see the Razorgore herds are just tearing apart the Wheels of Doom. Ikit Claw's in a lot of trouble. I mean, Romulan might be able to pull something back by just using his Doom Wheels, but even still, the backline wasn't well defended enough, and it looks like, you know, Kazrak was able to get that back there and just blitz. I mean, the Centaurs were able to just blitz horribly, and even though Romulan did get some decent value initially, the Ikit Zap Cannon is basically just, you know, shattered at this point. The Jezzails are pretty much offline. The Doom Wheels are pretty much the last bastion of this force, and what a brutal start. That was just brutal. Oh my goodness. Just getting into the back line so quickly with that Beastman Vanguard, and that's one way to shut down Skaven firepower, right? You just Vanguard so close to them that they don't have too much time to accrue value from it. So here you can see the Wheels of Doom are going to be charging back here. And yeah, that was a nasty one. But Ikit Claw is going to be fighting to the bitter end. The balance power very heavily in the favor of the Beastmen. But Beastmen, of course, are a faction that can be quickly terror routed. Now, had Romulan Zog gone with like a Death Star, I think he might have been in better shape. But even still, I prefer the gun style of play that he brought. But man, that was nasty. That was really nasty. That Beastman Vanguard was just brutal. So Falcon just getting in there with the Beast Herds. The Razorgore Herds a very solid niche pick, and that's something that, you know, I would never have thought of. Using the Razorgore Herds to pin down Doom Flayers and Doom Wheels is very cost effective. The Razorgore Herds cost almost nothing. They have great AP, and they're just bullying this Doom Wheel, just putting it straight up in the trash can. So the Wheels of Doom are going to be going down here, and it looks like, unless something drastic happens, I mean, we still have some Rat Ogres here, Ikit Claw in the back. If he could maybe kill Kazrak One Eye on his Doom Wheel, I mean, maybe they could get something back. But you can see here, Falcon is going to be chasing all these guys off. The Clan Vulcan's Hail Slashers are pretty much out of the picture. A nice little Warp Lightning is going to be rampaging the Piggies, but I just don't see him coming back here. It looks like the Plague Priest is going to be dropping some summons. A bit of a terror route for the Beastman, so maybe he's going to pull something back. Achid Claw's coming in as well. Maybe if he can form a bit of a mobile Death Star and just start shrekking things. A big Pendulum coming down over here on top of Felcon's Gore Herds, but it looks like these summons actually just disappeared right before the Pendulum went off. The Plague Priest is probably going to be dropping some summons, I would imagine, but he is not in the best shape either. But Ikit and his Doomwheel are together. Kazrak's in pretty good shape. The Bacon is still healthy, though. Centaurs are going to kill everything. I mean, Centaurs are just going to clean up the map. And now, more importantly, the Butchers of Kalkengard have been brought in, and those guys are just going to be charging in, just giving the straight-up business here. So I think that's going to be game 2 for Felcon, and Felcon will be moving on to the finals. The Doomwheels, you know, they tried their hearts out, but the Razorgore Herds were just so good, and the triple Centaurs into the back line, I think, overwhelmed the defenses. There was a Clan Rat, Rat Ogres, but Felcon was able to just zip through, get right onto the Sharpshooters, which are an 1,100, 1,200 gold unit. So losing those plus the Zap Cannon is pretty much like the main firepower of your army out of the window. Now, Romulan did do a good job trying to fight back in the late game, but at that point, that's going to be a quick game there. Yes. Yeah, the Ancient Salamander is way better than the Hunting Packs in multiplayer. Yeah, and Salamander Hunting Packs I don't think are OP. I don't think either of them are OP, but that's going to be 2-0 for Felcon. Very, very aggressive Beastman build, and it seems like he's pretty familiar with how some of these new units work already. He had natural answers for everything. The Baconators were able to shut down the Doomwheels, the backline pressure of the Centaurs was great, and that's going to be a relatively quick one there. Yes. I know, Rattling Gunners for sure. More layers, there wasn't too many deployment options. I mean, yes, you could have made layers, but even still, the Beastman pressuring quickly was very solid, but I just think it was just getting into the backline was what caused the problem. That was pretty much it. Just the Centaurs getting the value, killing the Zap Cannon, plus the Jezzails right away. That was pretty much game at that point. Yeah. So well played to those guys. GG. And Felcon post-finals lobby. All right, guys. So we're going to be jumping over to the finals here. And you know what? I think they're probably ready. So let's just go back to the caster's desk. And from here, we will move on to the not grand finals, but the second best of 3, which is going to be Aerocrastic facing off against King of the Dead. So we're going to see how it goes. It's going to be good. There's a lot of changes in terms of balance. Yeah, there's like going to be patch notes, I would imagine, coming out this week. I'll do a video covering all those as soon as it does happen. So, all right, and we're back. We don't need to take a break. Who needs to take breaks? It's time. So we're here. Let's go ahead and update the scorecards while we're here, just so I don't forget, because I always do. And this one is going to be, we'll just put King. We'll put King in all caps so it fits. It's always hard to fit his name in these scorecards up here, so we'll just put King versus Aerocrastic is going to be. Put Aerocrastic. That should fit. It's not too bad. All right, and let's get the Wookiee blocker up. And Romulan Dog says, I think I clearly needed more coffee. Yeah, for Romulan, it was pretty early. For Felcon, that was like 7 or 8 at night, I think. But for Romulan, that was like way early in the morning. So I don't blame him. I would have just, the same thing would have happened to me, man. Don't stress it. Start when ready. All right, so we have Aerocrastic, who's, honestly, Aerocrastic is one of the best Skaven players I have ever seen. He is so damn good at Skaven. And he's going to be facing off against King of the Dead, arguably one of the best Tomb Kings players. So this is going to be very interesting to see which units Aerocrastic picks in this matchup. I'm quite excited for this. Yes. Romulan Dog did have 2 or 3 groups of Rat Ogres in that build, yes. And first game is going to be on Pillar of Bone in this best of 3. I don't know if Kroxagor's got a buff. There's quite a few changes, guys. And of course, I will cover those when the patch notes do come out. From just looking on the back end of things, I saw a lot of different stats on units, but I don't want to like make a video until I know all of them because it's just kind of redundant if I do that. So, and thank you very much for the donations again from Constantine, Sir Swagalot, and the Spark, and of course Mr. Medic, who is a new channel member. Shadow, I thought that we did send that to you. I thought that Anna did, but I'll follow up on that. Yeah, no problem. And Rampage actually is different now. So the way Rampage works is that if a unit rampages, I mean, same outcome, right? They're going to just berserk and attack the nearest target, but they actually get a buff. They get melee attack, I think, in leadership when they rampage. So it's pretty strong. I mean, when Saurus rampage, those guys do work. Yeah, it's pretty good. Jezzails are by far the best unit on the new Skaven roster. They are very, very good. I mean, you didn't get to really see them in action, but they are just game changers. They're like Ushapti Great Bows. And then we get to the second best, I would say, was Doomflayers. Yeah, that would be my opinion. Bobby Baker, you saw my game versus Felcon. That was a really close game. The one I just uploaded, it was incredibly good. Most of my early access games, or the games this week, will be against Falcon and King of the Dead because they had early access, and I played quite a few against dot plays as well, so you guys will be seeing those up on the channel in the next couple days. So, Johan, you missed the first best of 3, which was a really good series between Romulan and Falcon, and now we're in the second one, which is going to be a best of 3 between Aerocrastic and King of the Dead. So King of the Dead actually brought this exact build against me the other day against my Skaven, and it is nasty. However, I think that Aerocrastic is pretty well prepared for this. His build seems a little bit more catered to dealing with like high mass. Mine wasn't. The Mighty Serial. Turin, love the stuff you do. Keep it up. I will. Thank you so much. We're going to be streaming quite a bit this week. I'll be putting up part 2 of the campaign. I'm thinking about just slapping it up tomorrow, but I don't know. Maybe Wednesday would be better on launch day. And then from there, I'm going to be probably doing another like best of 7 during the week. So I'll probably grab a couple of players on launch day and do a best of 7. And then the Eternal Challenger League may start this next weekend. I'm not sure. Or the weekend after that. I haven't really planned it out yet. But there's going to be a ton of multiplayer streams. So yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the armies. So for the Skaven, we do have Lord Skrolk. So going back to the old school a little bit. But Skrolk has a couple of Ikit Claws inventions on his side here. He has Libra and Rod of Corruption, which, if you want to be really competitive against Tomb Kings, I think Skrolk is a better pick. We got Doom players as well. So Doom players, you might not think they're a great choice here, but Doom players are really good against Cav. Now, they're good against infantry. They'll kill Tomb Guard, they'll kill Nagakar warriors, they'll do very well there. But more importantly, if your opponent is swarming you with Nagakar horsemen, Skeleton horsemen, these things have enough mass to pin them down, and they have too much armor for the Tomb Kings to deal with as far as their Cav and Chariot units. So the Doom players are a very good kind of roadblock unit. So he has 2 Doom players, he has 2 Rat Ogres, or 3 Rat Ogres to deal with the Cav unit, and he does have the Teeth Breakers, all the Rattling Gunners in the middle. And these guys, if they're able to shoot at close range, they will like almost one-shot a Lord. It is nasty. Now, Rattling Gunners at max range aren't that strong, but if your opponent gets within 60 range of you, these guys are able to just stomp the couch of your opponent. In the front, he's got Stormvermin with Swords and Shields, a couple Skaven Slaves, and Rat Ogres. So a very Helm's DP type formation. He probably is expecting mass Cav, because most Tomb Kings players in tournaments against Skaven in the past just spam Nagakar Horsemen and Chariots, and you just run them down. It is very, very strong, but I think Aerocrastic is privy to this. We're going to see how it goes. So that's pretty much it for Arrow's army. And for King of the Dead, he's got Ark in the Black. He does have some Sneaky Snakes, Necropolis Knights with Halberds in the back, 2 of those. A massive core of Nagakar Horsemen, 2 Chariots, Skeleton Horsemen Archers. This is just a wild-ass build for sure. The one issue I think that we do have here for the Skaven is the fact that the Rattling Gunners are going to have to just trade Fisticuffs with Skeleton Horsemen Archers, which isn't going to be the best. Granted, they do have 70 armor, so start when ready. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is going to be something for sure. The Spark says, my 2 most hated factions facing off. How could you hate? Skaven are awesome. Look at them. Oh, rat people. Little predator rats. So the Tomb King Horde going to be pushing out from the desert lands, attacking some of the filthy Skaven here, and it looks like the Skaven are going to be surging forth to meet them. Now, the Rat Ogres are going to have their hands full, but the Doom players, like I said, their mass is going to be so good, and they get 124 armor when they're engaged in melee combat because of their best defense ability. Skrolk is probably going to be dropping the, but Spirit Leech spam is going to be really nasty against Skrolk as well. So, I mean, this game could go either way. It's really going to come down to micro. Is he going to be able to keep these Rattling Gunners online? And the first Rattling Gun volley is going to be opening up here in just a second. They're going to be just going after the Chariots. So they do have a suppression mechanic, so they're able to just suppress. All these Chariots are just getting gunned down. Now, they do get obstructed very easily, but nonetheless, good value on the Chariots, and they weren't even at the best range there. Some of the carrying do swoop into the back line on top of the Teeth Breakers. Aerocrastic needs to get some Rat Ogres back there and protect those guys. But in the front line, you can see the Doom players are actually fending off the Skeleton Horseman Chariots pretty efficiently. Rat Ogres are going to be pulling forward, and it looks like the Teeth Breakers are still getting chewed on by those guys. So Skrolk is going to be going back here. Rat Ogre is going to be going back here. Aerocrastic needs to form up a tight Helm's Deep. But the problem with the Doom player defense is that they're just being killed by the Necropolis Knights with Halberds. So the poor little Skaven boys here are going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Oh man, that is not good. Those Doom players are getting shreked. Aerocrastic needs to get away with those guys, pull them into some of these spears right here. But in the main fight, it looks like Aerocrastic's just going to be dogpiling in to finish off the Carrion and just forming a bit of a battle line. He does have some Gutter Runners with Poison kiting backwards, and the Stormvermin are doing okay, and some of the Chariots are taking quite a bit of damage, but Aerocrastic really needs to make sure that he's able to get these Doom players away from the Necropolis Knights. That is a horrible situation for those things. Necropolis Knights have enough AP to really put them down, and the Skeleton Horseman Archer's doing some work. Oh no, and a Purple Sun's going to be going down right here. It looks like it might have been canceled at the last second by Ark in the Black, but the Purple Sun is still going to be getting casted, but Aerocrastic, with the moves like Jagger, is able to dodge out, and it looks like Aerocrastic is doing pretty good in regards to the bounce of power. The Summon's doing very well, and the Doom players were able to get away from the Sneaky Snake, so that is quite good. Clan Rats with Spears are going to be screening a little bit, and the Purple Sun, oh, is it going to get some of these rats? And it looks like it's going to be circling inwards. Oh, and the Rattling Gunners are saved at the last second, and now you can see they're just opening up here on Ark in the Black, going to be getting some solid damage, and I think at this point, Aerocrastic knows he needs to protect these Rattling Gunners. They're going to be a huge asset to him here. So the Skeleton Horseman Archers going to be dogpiling in, and even like Skaven elite troops like Stormvermin have a lot of troubles with just getting dogpiled in. A nice Scorch coming down from Skrulk is able to chew on some of those Nehekar Horsemen, but a very close game. Bounce Spire is pretty much dead even. Rat Ogres are able to start beating down some of the Skeleton Chariots, and the Teethbreakers somehow, some way, even with all these mobile units, are still online, and they're going to be just shooting into the sneaky snakes. They're just going to be getting Last Samurai right here. You can see a ton of damage coming in on the Necropolis Knights. Beautiful stuff here from the Teethbreakers, and Teethbreakers actually do have concealment bombs as well, so they can pop smoke, but look at this. These snakes just getting mowed down by the Rattling Gunners. Beautiful stuff right here, just getting taken apart. So very, very good play here from Aerocrastic, showing that Rattling Gunners can be quite solid. So the battle is very, very close. Maybe a slight advantage for the Skaven even. Skrulk has taken some damage from Spirit Leeches, but it seems like the Tomb Kings are having a little bit of trouble getting through. However, if King of the Dead is able to finish off the Teethbreakers and take away the ranged tools from the Skaven, he's going to be able to cycle charge it pretty much with impunity. So Aerocrastic really needs to protect those Skaven missile units. Now, in the meantime, this flank has collapsed for the Tomb Kings. Looks like their horsemen and other troops are pretty much out of the picture. Ark in the Black still in pretty good shape, and he probably still does have his summons. Skeleton Horseman Archers in relatively good shape as well, so those guys are going to be trolling and trundling. And it looks like the Ushopti summon is going to be dealt with, and somehow Aerocrastic with some great micro is able to keep these Teethbreakers alive. And this is actually a rematch from the Everchosen Invitational. So in the Everchosen, we did have a bit of an upset with King of the Dead having a quick 3-0 against Aerocrastic. So we're going to see if Aerocrastic can pull this back and get a couple wins here in this early access tournament. So here you can see the Teethbreakers are back online, still a little bit shaken up. Some of the Chariots are going to be charging in, but they are protected by some Clan Rats with Spears, so maybe it's going to be okay. And the Ushopti Summit is going, but it looks like Aerocrastic in a very hard matchup. I think this is a matchup that's been pretty tough for the Skaven. He's able to do very well for himself. Libra Bubonicus going down and just melting Ark in the Black. The Curse is going to be going off as well. And yeah, I don't know. The Rattling Gunners have just been doing work this whole game. Now, they only have 8 kills, but they've still done a ton of damage this entire match. And let's see where they're going to be shooting. So these guys are a little bit shaken up. They have popped the concealment bomb, so they're not concealed right now because there's units literally right on top of them. But you can see here that King of the Dead is going to be charging in with the Skeleton Horseman Archers to pile drive those guys. But at the very least, I think they paid their dues. And Ark in the Black probably going to be not going down here. He should escape, but I think it's going to be tough. Skrulk is in good shape. But not to say, though, King can't pull this back. I mean, Arkin with Spirit Leech spam, he's able to draw the game out and get some really good Spirit Leeches on Lord Skrulk. That could be pretty strong as well. So let's go ahead and take a big overhead look at the battlefield. The Tomb Kings have a couple groups of Skeleton Horseman Archers. They have Ark in the Black. They have one group of Nehekar Horsemen, or one model, literally, who's dead now. He's gone. But the 15 Necropolis Knights are going to be a little bit tricky, but I think the Skaven are in a pretty dominant position. He probably still has a couple summons. But yeah, he's going to have to pretty much wait out the ammunition of these Horseman Archers. But look at these Gutter Runners with poison, just giving the business to these Skeleton Horseman Archers. Ark in the Black is going to be intercepting those guys, but the Rat Ogres are going to be surging over there to really, just pound town that guy. I wonder if there's another Liber Bubonicus. There might be another charge here. Let me go ahead and take a little bit of water. Ah, water. It's what plants crave. Anyways, here in the back, Necropolis Knights are going to be attacking the Rat Ogres, and that's a pretty good engagement. I mean, I don't think King can pull it back at this point. Beautiful showcase for Aerocrastic, getting vengeance for the Everchosen Invitational in his first game, using the Skaven, putting the Doom Players to pretty good use, and the Rattling Gunners just solid this game, just mowing these guys down as they charge. God damn, those units are cool. I love Rattling Gunners. They're such a badass unit. And with that, Aerocrastic is going to be taking the first game against King of the Dead. And here we go. Game 2 it is. So wow, what a great Skaven showcase. Showing that with some of the new tools with the Doom Players and with the Rattling Gunners, you have some pretty good options. You have suppression, you have more high mass units, more variants. Very, very good stuff. That was awesome. And Aerocrastic going to be taking game 1 there. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. Yes, yes. And we can actually just click on that directly, I think. Come on, do it. That was a really, really solid Skaven play. He is such a good Skaven player. And we're going to put Wookiee up. And we're going to be moving on to the next game. Game 2. And it looks like King of the Dead, instead of playing Undead, he's going to be going with the Dinosaurs. And we're going to see what Aerocrastic picks for game 2. That was such a great game. Both players played awesome. Plant hand confirmed. What are you talking about, Jason? Turin is a plant? Oh, it's what plants create. Okay. God damn it. You're so slow sometimes. And Centurio, with the big fiber of the donation, never stop hyping me up with your streams. Oh, and tell your wife to keep it slow with the shrooms. Too many ain't good for you. Oh, all right. So you might know about the project she's working on. I will. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate the donation. We're up to 776 viewers. Really appreciate you guys joining. I know some of you guys are at work. There's a lot of other streams going on just all across the board. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time to choose my stream and hang out. And yeah, we're here. We're having fun. So is Turin a Dryad, a Treekin, or a Tree Man? I'm a Tree Man, bro. I'm a Tree Man. But we're going to have the Dinosaurs facing off against Chaos. So King of the Dead actually has a pretty cool Chaos build up his sleeve. against Chaos with the Lizardmen. He used it against me a couple days ago. It was quite strong. So we're going to see if Aerocrastic is ready for it. We're going to see. It's gonna be a party, to say the least. Let me go ahead and double check everything. And here we go. And Aerocrastic, if somebody wants to, maybe I'll find a link to it. I believe that Aerocrastic is streaming this, so if you guys want to go to his channel on Twitch, it's just Aerocrastic. If you guys want to watch him play live, he has insane micro, so he's over there as well if you guys want to go look. The Rats did pretty good. Those Rattling Gunners were very solid. Skaven shooting against Dwarves is a little bit tricky. Like Thunders, I think will be able to kill Rattling Gunners one-on-one, but again, Rattling Gunners are much better at a closer range as well, and they have suppression, so that's kind of their advantage. Jezzails are pretty good for sniping Dwarf Lords and characters. How do you think the Skaven will land in the competitive? Oh, they're going to be so much better. Like, Skaven are still going to be a little bit trickier to play than some other factions because they're a low leadership faction, but for the most part, I think that Skaven are going to be, I don't know, yeah, they'll be up there. They can compete with anyone now, I think. For sure. I don't think they have any, like, horrid matchups anymore. Oh, Oliver, thank you, man. Oh yeah, Lady Turin would for sure be a Wood Elf. Although she really likes goblins as well. So it's hard to say. She would be a Wood Elf, though. Yeah, that would be her thing. She grew up in the woods. Loves nature. Hates when people come into her forest. All that good stuff. Yeah, Adam, I will be putting up more Warcraft 3 replays, and when Warcraft 3 Reforged does come out, I'll be doing a ton of them. So yeah, there's going to be all kinds of content coming. Wouldn't Zawi cannons just mince Jezzails? Well, the thing about Jezzails, CJ Swanee, is what you do against Dwarves is you bring the Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, and they have snipe and stalk, so your opponent actually can't see them unless they get close. So against Dwarves won't be able to shoot them. You're going to have to just like sit and you know, advance on them, or just take the shots like a champ. So, oh, for a second I thought Prince Sigvald was not a horse. I was like, what treachery is this? All right, here we go. So for the armies of the Warriors of Chaos, we do have Prince Sigvald on foot with his Auric armor. And yeah, I guess he's pretty tough to kill, so if you want to just kind of protect your lord from sniping, Sigvald is a decent choice. And for the front line, it's going to be Chaos Warriors with Great Weapons. Now, against Dinos, you probably should bring Great Weapons in case they go Temple Guard spam. And even against like Saurus and other troops, they should perform fine. So he has all Great Weapons here in the front line with a couple of Marauders, which he'll probably use on the flanks to go around and try and pressure, or maybe just fight Skinks, because the Chaos Marauders will actually trade very efficiently with Red Crested Skinks, which are going to be very popular in this matchup. In the back line, 3 groups of the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes to take out the big dinosaurs, 2 groups of Chaos Warhounds to chase down Skinks and just chase things off the battlefield. Chaos Knights with Lances, which I like to call the Aerocrastic Special. He's one of the few very high-level players that makes these things work. They are just, yeah, they can really do a ton of damage against like Skink units. So if somebody goes for like a Red Crested army, these guys are going to do some serious lifting. 2 groups of standard Marauder Horsemen. He does also have a Shadowcaster with a Pendulum and Enfeebling Foe. And that is pretty much it. Nice little Chaos army over here. And for the forces of King of the Dead, being the people's champ here, coming in with a bunch of new units. He has the Red Crested Skinks across the entire front line, including the cohort of Sotek. So these guys are the Red Crested Skinks, Regiment of Renown, and they have refused to die. So they still lose HP, but they won't lose model. So the best time to use this is when they get a little bit lower. You pop this, and it's going to make them very stalwart. And they're also unbreakable, great armor piercing, very, very solid front line against Chaos. Yes, they will lose to Chaos Warriors, but they're going to put up a good fight and do some damage, and they'll trade efficiently. He does have the Red Crested Skink Chief up here on the Ancient Stegodon. This guy does have the Warrior's Crest and the Opal Amulet. And guys, we have Ripperdactyl, so we do have the Clocidon Hunters. So these guys are the anti-large unit. These guys will Shrek those Chaos Knights if they're able to get a good rear charge. 2 groups of the standard Ripperdactyls, which will wreck the infantry. However, Aerocrastic, I think, was expecting these and brought a bunch of Marauder Horsemen to kind of pick them off. He does also have another Ripperdactyl and the Skink Priest with the Lore of Beasts. It's going to be pretty cool. I love this build. In the back, he does have some Salamander hunting packs. Man, King is just trying to win the hearts of you guys, just bringing all the new units. He does also have the Umbral Tide, the Salamander hunting pack. And these guys do have dedicated anti-large in their attacks and perfect vigor. And yeah, these guys are going to be doing some work. Now, Aerocrastic is really going to need to get the Poison Hounds on them. It's going to be very, very important. Start when ready. What a build from King. He's such an awesome dude. Great player, too. Look at this build. Just bringing all the new units to show you guys. And granted, they could be very good here. Who knows? Maybe he's been practicing with this build. And Alexander, the show must go on. Thank you so much for the donation to fire off this this second match in this best of 3 between Aerocrastic and King of the Dead. A rematch from the Everchosen Invitational. So firstly, the Lizards are going to be advancing forward. And let's see what Chaos does. Chaos has some really good skirmishing potential, but the Salamander hunting packs actually have 90 range, so they do have better range than the Marauder Horsemen, so they're going to be able to really just wreck those guys. I believe these guys, they don't have stock, but they're going to be shooting in here, and here they go. They're going to be aiming up, and here come the first volleys. It looks like Aerocrastic might have gotten back quick enough. I don't think the volleys are quite going to hit those guys, so good micro there from Aero. Had he stayed for like a second longer, he would have taken some serious casualties on these guys. So the Ripperdactyl is going to be attacking the weak side of the formation, which is a very, very good play. Aerocrastic a little bit out of position with his Marauder Horsemen over here. I mean, they're in position, but even still, this is just going to be fresh fish on the line. So here we go. They're going to be swooping in. These Chaos Warriors are just going to be getting ripped to shreds by these angry birds. So the screen's shaking violently as these Chaos Warriors are just going to start taking a lot of damage. Granted, Aerocrastic does maneuver pretty quick with the throwing axes. So had they fought for a couple seconds longer, the Colossadon Hunters and these other troops would have just done massive damage, but he did have to pull back there. So the Warhounds in the front do get broken off, and the Skinks are going to be charging the Marauders, which is going to favor the Marauders. They're going to be able to win this engagement. The Red Crested Skinks, I mean, will poison them, but even still, it's not going to be the best. So the Skink Chief going to be charging in on his beast over there, going to really be changing the tide of this battle here. A very, very good frontline unit. But in the back, the Manticore is going to be attacking the Marauder Horsemen for King of the Dead. And the Colossadon Hunters and the Ripperdactyl is going to be just kind of juking back and forth. He should probably leave one over here to kind of work on these guys and just kind of pressure from multiple angles so Aerocrastic can't move with just his huge goon squad here. But the Feral Manticore doing a ton of work, actually able to break off some Marauder Horsemen and terrify them. And in the meantime, the Red Crested Skink Chief going to be intercepting the Chaos Knights with lances. And it looks like there is going to be some Chaos Witchcraft going down on the skies. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it looks like there is going to be a second Manticore summon, and it's probably going to be used to take out the Marauder Horsemen. Now, the Ripperdactyls and company are going to be going after the Chaos Knights, but there's a ton of Marauder Horsemen Overwatch fire coming in, so it's not going to be the best engagement for them. But nonetheless, the Colossadon Hunters have a huge anti-large bonus. They have 134. I think their bonus for large is like something like 26. And these Chaos Knights are being torn to shreds by these angry lizard birds. They're just swooping in there. The Chaos Knights taking a ton of damage. The Ripperdactyls just doing work. Those Chaos Knights actually terrified and pretty much broken off there. So very, very good stuff there. But the bounce power is relatively even, maybe slightly in the favor of the dinosaurs. You can see the Red Crested Skinks are going to be getting slapped with an enfeebling foe. Chaos Marauders and company doing a pretty good job. And these cohorts of Sotek have popped Refuse to Die. So those guys are doing some work. And you can see in the back, the Salamanders are just kind of hiding and fighting a little bit. So not super optimal use of the Salamanders right now. But again, they're probably going to turn and at the very least pick these guys apart. I mean, the Chaos Warriors have no hope in hell of catching them. And here they come. The first couple volleys going to be going in. And that's going to be doing some work against those Chaos Warriors. They're more meant against large targets. But nonetheless, they can still kind of slash these guys down and pick them apart over the course of a long battle. But the name of the game is really the Ripperdactyls. Those things are just so tough for Chaos to deal with. They're flying around. They're just feasting on the souls of these damned warriors. The Colossadon Hunters have 9 kills, and it looks like 11 and 13, but they did really distract those Chaos Knights. And the Red Crested Skink Chief is going to be really tough to kill as well. I mean, throwing axes are doing some work. The Warrior's Crest has been popped, but he probably needs to get some help because he's actually taking quite a bit of damage. And that's probably how Aerocrastic could get back in this battle, if he's able to kind of pick those guys apart. Now, this is a beautiful tactic here by King of the Dead. He pulled apart these Chaos Warriors a little bit, and now he's going to be just picking apart the scraps, which is going to be away from the throwing axes. So the Colossadon Hunters and the Ripperdactyls are just going to be feasting on these Chaos Warriors. Just their great armor pierce and their bonus force infantry. These Chaos Warriors have no chance against these units. So you can see with that, the Chaos Warriors are getting taken out pretty bad. And the Umbral Tide is still in really good shape. I mean, the one thing that King could... how he could lose this game. If he lets this Red Crested Skink Chief get taken out, he might have a little bit of trouble. So he needs to pull back and just kite a little bit, use some of his Salamanders here and his other troops to kind of, lend some aid. So the Umbral Tide's going to be rushing in to kind of free him up a little bit. And I mean, they're okay in melee combat. They do have 31 melee defense. It's not the best, but they should be able to at least terrify off some of these Chaos Marauders. Now over here, the Ripperdactyls still just tearing apart the infantry. There is a pretty healthy core of Chaos Knights back here as well as Marauder Horsemen. So in the late game, that could be a little bit tricky. And Sigvald isn't going to go anywhere easily. This is a very, very close battle. But the Ripperdactyls are just tearing these guys apart. They're so cool. It's such a cool unit. I mean, I really like the changes they did to the Lizardman roster, the new units, I should say. So the Umbral Tide, still pretty healthy. They have 20 models of their 24, so they have taken a little bit of damage. A very nice Lock of Doom is going to be going down here, and the Red Crested Skink Chief needs to be careful. He's taking a bit of work. Chaos Knights are going to be charging in, but they're also going to be taking some fireballs to the face, and some of these Ripperdactyls are going to be charging in to lend some aid to this very beleaguered Red Crested Skink Chief. Now, in the meantime, Chaos Knights are going to be getting taken out by the Salamanders, and it looks like the bounce power is going pretty heavily in the favor of King of the Dead here in the second game. The Ripperdactyls, man, I felt like he was pretty well prepared for them, but even still, oh man, he was prepared for these Ripperdactyls, but like they're just such a menace. The mobility is so good, and the Salamanders and the Ripperdactyls work pretty well together because you chase the Salamanders, right? You're like, you goddamn things, and then from there, the units have to overextend to chase the Salamanders, at which point the Ripperdactyls can just pick them apart, which is very, very good. Now, the Ripperdactyls are going to be chasing down some of these Marauder Horsemen who are actually shaken. I don't know if the Colossadon Hunters cause terror. They don't. They cause fear, and yeah, it just looks like it's fear across the board. And the Red Crested Skink Chief's in pretty good shape. The Salamanders definitely want to kite, just run away from Sigvald. There's no point in fighting him. Just save him for the last thing to kind of pick apart there. But Aerocrastic is fighting his way back in this game. He's not going to be going out quietly. He might be able to even get this game back. I mean, the Ripperdactyls are all in pretty good shape, but the Red Crested Skink Chief not in the best shape. I guess he's just going to have to kind of kite and waste the ammunition, because when the Marauder Horsemen do run out of ammo, it's pretty much going to be game blouses. So like these Red Crested Skink Chiefs taking the damage is pretty good. And yeah, this is good stuff. Just use the Ripperdactyls to kind of take apart these very beleaguered Chaos Warriors on the flank. That is going to be pretty important here. And yeah, the Salamanders are shooting in here, getting some pretty good anti-large shots, and they do have better range than the Marauder Horsemen. So what a beautiful answer. I mean, these Salamander hunting packs, and honestly, if I were Aerocrastic, I might actually just go in and charge them, but even still, I don't think you can. No, you can't, because the Ripperdactyls will just tear you, just feast on you. They'll just go to town. So the battle's still pretty close. Chaos has a lot of troops. Sigvald is going to be very sustainable and hard to kill. I mean, this Red Crested King Chief is going to have his hands full for sure. But the Salamander shooting in there, just massive barrage of fire just going into these Marauder Horsemen. I don't think they're having a very good time here. The Shadowcaster is still in good shape, and it looks like this Reprodactyl swarm over here is taken out by Marauder Horsemen and some Chaos Knights. So it's looking to be a pretty damn close game. Aerocrastic is not going to give up here. Sigvald is just surging forward. The Chaos Warhounds are surging forward. It's just been a beautiful game by both players. But the Red Crested King Chief is going to be popping the Opal Amulet. Might be able to tear out these hounds off. It's going to be tough. These Salamanders definitely want to turn and fight and finish off those Chaos Warhounds at this point. Ripperdactyls in the fight of their lives over here. So the Clausedon Hunter is going to be taking a huge charge from these Chaos Knights. And this is going to be super important. Can the Ripperdactyls and the Clausedon Hunters beat these Chaos Knights, win this fight over here, and free up this whole flank of the battlefield? From there, they might be able to chase off some stuff. Anyways, the Red Crested King Chief getting a little bit low. Warrior's Crest and Cold Blooded has been popped. Oh, and he gets a huge attack there on the Chaos Sorcerer. Sorcerer not in the best shape. He's terrified. And with that, you can see King of the Dead is going to be pulling ahead massively in terms of the bounce of power. But this King Chief at this point probably wants to run. Or maybe just keep working on Sigvald. I guess he could fight a little bit more. But Sigvald taking a lot of damage. And that is why you're seeing people pick the Red Crested King Chief, because he's actually a pretty good duelist with his ability, the Warrior's Crest. Now, the Ripperdactyls were able to win this fight on the flanks. The Salamanders are in really good shape, so honestly, they could probably just spit roast Prince Sigvald, just kind of roast him with all the flame attacks from a range. But he's going to be charging in there, and Sigvald is not having a good time being punted here. And just beautiful play from King of the Dead. An awesome showcase, using the Ripperdactyls and all these flying units to just do, the work of the old ones, I suppose. This is a very, very good battle between these two players, very evenly matched. And Sigvald here is able to beat down the Red Crested King Chief. And with that, I think it's going to be going to game 3. I think that King of the Dead is going to be winning this one, and Arrow, who did win the first game with his Skaven. So yeah, Lizardman and Skaven both winning their games here. Solid showcase of some of these new units, and Ripperdactyls, I mean, King of the Dead, just so good with those units. And the Salamanders here just going to be roasting in here with their fire attacks. They're mobile, they are such an annoying unit, and you can really see when they're played by these high-level players that they're able to be used to a pretty good effect here. So yeah, I guess they have a niche against Chaos. I'm learning as well with you guys. What a great battle. What a great battle. So Sigvald's going to be fighting, but against the Ripperdactyls, they're probably going to tear him to shreds. And the Red Crested King Chief just going to be cackling here in the flank, popping his Opal Amulet. And yeah, I just don't... Sigvald, I mean, maybe he can endure this. It's going to be tough. The Salamander's just going to be shooting at the Marauder Horsemen, trying to take those guys out. Definitely not a bad choice here, just kind of spit roasting those guys a little bit. Yeah, the hunting packs are pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome. Look at this. Sigvald's actually at his healing cap, so he's probably going to be kiting back right now and using the missile attacks to kind of shoot Sigvald down. But the Red Crested King Chief going in to try and finish the game. Sigvald taking an attack in the back right there. The Ripperdactyl's going to be charging in as well. Salamander's being used to counterplay the Marauder Horsemen because, again, they do have 90 range, better than the Horsemen. But the King Chief is going to be going down, so Sigvald is actually able to take out the King Chief, but he goes out like a true patriot of his people, and Prince Sigvald is going to be getting taken out by the Ripperdactyls, most likely. Well, it'll probably be an army loss, this thing. I mean, the Salamanders can simply kite him and shoot him to pieces, and the Ripperdactyls and Clausedon Hunters probably just going to be chasing down the Horsemen and other troops like that. Yeah, you can see the Horsemen are out of ammo at this point. I mean, a little bit left on these throwing axes. Sigvald is still steady, not in the worst shape. Sallies are going to be shooting in there, but you can see Aerocrastic is going to be microing those guys back. Fighting to the bitter end. I mean, maybe Sigvald can be the hero that Gotham needs, but I don't think so. Ripperdactyls do have a bonus for its infantry. I mean, not the ROR has bonus for its large, but they're going to be charging in there. He's at his healing cap. Any damage he does take is pretty much going to be permanent. And the Skink Priest is just going to be charging these throwing axes right here, making sure they don't come back. And that is going to be army losses. So game 2, a very close contested game, is going to be going to King of the Dead. Awesome stuff. Ripperdactyls actually, I think, lose pretty bad to Pegasus Knights, but they trade pretty efficiently with Royal Hippogriff Knights. So there is some cool trades there. Yeah. Fancy, fancy. And with that, King of the Dead is going to be equalizing this series. Beautiful play by both players. And let us go ahead and move on to game 3. We're going to get Wookiee back up. Those Ripperdactyls and Salamanders put in some serious work. What a game. What a game. Yeah, the Salamander projectiles are relatively easy to dodge, but I mean, even still, they're pretty strong when they do make contact. Sigvald did get birded pretty hard. The bird is the word. Yeah, he got the bird beat down. And guys, I'll be back in 1 second. Just going to grab some more water. Hang tight while the players pick their armies, and we are going to be on the Iron Sand Desert. So it's going to be Empire versus Norska. Good stuff. A little bit of variance today. All right, guys, and we're back from outer space, and it is time for Aerocrastic to take on King of the Dead in the last match here. Yeah, the Armor Sundering Bombs are available to the new Lizardmen Pterodon Riders. It's pretty good. We actually had Rattling Gunners earlier. We've pretty much seen most of the new units, like, at their core. We saw Jezzails, we saw Rattling Gunners, we saw Doom Flayers. For the Dinos, we haven't seen the Ancient Salamander. Actually, I think we did see him earlier. I think Sally was in one of the earlier games. Yeah, she was. We saw the standard hunting packs. We've seen the red crested skinks. We haven't seen all the RORs, but we've seen most of the new stuff. And if you guys want, you can, let's see. Hey, Wicked. Wicked D, or Misha. If you guys could, actually link to Aerocrastic's Twitch channel, that would be great. As well as King of the Dead. I don't know if King's streaming this right now, but, I mean, there will be links to it. So just, if they are streaming, feel free to link to their channels. Jimmy. All right, there you go. Wicked D, what do you mean Pipe's retired? All right. Well, Lord Croak, we have not seen Lord Croak today, actually. He's pretty good, too. Croak has some decent matchups. He does a lot of damage with his big old bombs. He does some work. Yeah, so Wicked D just dropped a link to his stream right there so you guys can see that. And yeah, make sure to check him out. He's playing live, so if you guys want to see his dank micro, head on over. And King of the Dead as well. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. We saw Rattling Gunners and Ripperdactyls were played last game, Stefan. Yes. Ripperdactyls just beast moded it last game. That was just absolute insanity. Those guys just put in work. Man, they tore apart that Chaos Army. And now, you know, King of the Dead loves his Norska. And he always, like, brings, like, whatever you think is bad, he brings it. And he makes it work. Like, against Empire, for example. So this is a perfect articulation of what I was just talking about. So let's go ahead and double check here. So everything looks good sound-wise. So, like, normally you wouldn't bring Mammoths. You wouldn't bring too many Famir, I suppose, because Empire has too many guns and cannons. But he just overloads on it, right? And it's going to be super tough to deal with, potentially. So, for King of the Dead here in the front line, it's going to be standard Marauders, which will do the trick. I mean, they can fight state troops and do, you know, pretty decent for themselves. We have the War Mammoth. Looks like there's going to be two of them. So one War Mammoth here, and the Soul Crusher, the Crusher of Souls. Now, this guy's actually not bad against missiles because he does have the Enrage ability. So you send him in first, you pop Enrage, and your opponent typically is going to try and shoot him down because he's big and scary. So this is going to be incredibly solid, potentially. I mean, I'm really eager to see how this build works. We have Wulfric the Wanderer on foot. We do also have Shaman Sorcerer of Fire with Fireball and Burning Skulls. Famir Warriors with Great Weapons. What a ridiculous build here. I mean, King just coming in with, like, Ripperdactyls and Mammoths, just all kinds of wild stuff for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay, got it. Got it, Wicked D. Yes. When am I going to play Spartacus in a head-to-head? We'll probably do it in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll do one with, like, Tic-Tac-Toe and like, someone else. I'm not sure. So here. We do have the Free Company Militia for Aerocrastic. He has a whole front line of those bad boys. Going to be taking a bit of a frontal engagement. A little bit scary against the Mammoths. In the back, he does have Outriders with grenade launchers. Karl Franz is going to be one of the biggest tools for taking out these big targets. A couple halberds as well. Handguns in the back. Looks like 3 of them, which are going to be protected by the Royal Altar of Graphite. So a beautiful formation here from Aerocrastic. He does also have a Jade Wizard, so things are about to get pretty real. Pretty real. We're not playing Skaven. Pretty real here. Yeah. I don't know if Mammoths... Feral Mammoths did have a change in their cost. Feral Mammoths, I think, cost 100 or 200 more, but I believe the more expensive Mammoths, like the War Mammoths, did get a slight reduction. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll find out. That is Norska. Norska facing off against the Empire, and this is it. So whoever wins this match is going to be going on to the finals to face off against Falcon. And this whole tournament, the prize pool is just it's a $50 tournament. So the winner will get, it's winner takes all. So it's just going to be a $50 prize pool for anyone who's wondering. The Feral Mammoths got a cost increase because they were a little bit spammable in multiplayer and they seem pretty cost effective. I think that was why they did it. I think it was slightly warranted. I don't know if you needed to, but I mean, it's okay. This Norska build is very fun. But again, it could just get run over. I mean, if he comes in here and the handgunners just tear these mammoths apart, I mean, in the Royal Altar of Graphites plus Karl Franz, I'm a little bit concerned for King. Like, he doesn't have any flank pressure to... I mean, I would have liked a couple hounds, like 1 or 2 warhounds, just to chase down the handgunners, but... I mean, he's just going balls deep into the armor rush, and we're going to see if it pays off. We're going to see if it makes off. Feral's costing more. Feral mammoths were seeing quite a bit of play in tournaments, just like spamming them because they were so cheap. I think that was why they were nerfed. I don't know if it was warranted, but anyways. Yeah, Aerocrastic does have to earn his feast, Misha. I love this little firing concave with the Free Company Militia. Start when ready. I'll make a full video going over the patch notes when they do come out, so you guys will get that. So you don't have to worry about it. I'll provide them here on the channel. You don't have to look for them. As soon as they go up, I'll have like a video like 1 or 2 hours later. So, all right, here we go. It is time. And here comes the Marauders. So the Marauders are going to be pushing forward. The grenade launchers are going to be taking some hot shots at Marauders. They're going to be pretty good in that respect. So here comes the first volley from the Outriders. And some pretty good damage on those Marauders. Definitely not bad. Outriders with grenade launchers are one of the more common picks against Norsca because they're so damn good against lightly armored infantry. Now, the Free Company Militia are going to be opening up on the War Mammoths. These guys are going to be the first line of defense of the Empire. I guess that kind of makes sense, right? The militia, the proud men of the Empire are going to be taking a beating for sure. But yeah, they're going to be running right now. The Spearmen with shields, a very good choice. They do have the charge defense. The Mammoths are going to be coming in, but now the overlapping fire of the Empire is going to be saturating in on top of the Mammoths. And Karl Franz coming in with the Gul Miraz. I mean, he's going to put a bit of hurt here. But again, King... Oh, this is not good. If Karl Franz gets trapped here, he needs to get out. Karl Franz needs to pull like up and away. If he breaks this Mammoth this early, man, I got like a lisp there for a second. If he pulls back and actually chases off the Mammoth, that would be huge value. But in the meantime, the Empire State troops are going to be surging forward. They are braced for the Famir here on the other side. And the handgunners are shooting. The Soul Crusher is going to be taking a little bit of damage. Might want to pop that in Rage because all these guns are going to be turning about face to put in some work right here. In the back, the Jade Wizard took quite a bit of damage from the Fireball, and Karl Franz is going to be getting up in the sky. And I wonder where he's going to go. I mean, he is a little bit hurt right here, and it seems like the Armor Rush is actually working out pretty well. And the Fireball coming downtown from Norsca, going to be hitting the Jade Wizard right in the dome. Oh, and it goes right through him, doing a ton of damage. The Jade Wizard is in some serious trouble. So somehow, some way, King of the Dead is making this Armor Rush work pretty darn well. The Mammoth is a little bit beat up. There are halberds and other units attacking it. Karl Franz coming in with the Reichel and Runefang, really going to help take this Mammoth down. But Enrage has been popped. This guy's going to be holding. And on the flank, these Free Company Militia are just going to be getting just beaten down by these Famir and these Marauders. And the Famir are surging forward. Royal Altar Fights are going to be getting in and getting a great engagement on these Famir with great weapons. But again, they're going to take damage right back. Wolfric is here helping. All the guns are turned about face here on the Mammoth. And this is a very, very close fight. On the other side of the battlefield, a little bit disastrous for the Empire as this Mammoth and Famir just get on top of the Free Company. And the halberds are starting to falter a little bit. But the Royal Altar Fights standing firm, standing proud. They do, of course, have that Earthblood going off, and they are able to break off those Famir. But they probably don't want to be fighting Wolfric, so at this point, I think they need to fall back and try and secure the back line a little bit. So if we take a big look at the battlefield overall, Karl Franz was able to beat down the Soul Crusher. He does, of course, have Gul Miraz, so he probably did pop that. I think we just missed it. So now he's going to be methodically working his way around the battlefield, and the Free Company Militia just holding firm against the Tides of Norsca. We're going to see if they're able to kind of stand their line, or stand their ground here. It's tough to say. Marauders are very, very good against like lightly armored state troops and things like that. But the bounce power is very even. Over here, Wolfric is doing some work. War Mammoth is still online. The Royal Altar Fights have rushed over to intercept, and the grenades are shooting in. But a lot of the Empire guns are in, pretty precarious situations. Right here, these handgunners are about to be compromised most likely by these Marauders, unless somehow Aerocrastic can kind of peel them off. Oh, this Mammoth needs to go. Karl Franz needs to turn around and just finish this thing off. If the Soul Crusher is able to stabilize and get back to its allies over here, that could be a little bit tricky. But here it comes. It's going to be getting in, getting a rear charge on Karl Franz, and let's see if Karl takes the damage. So Karl does take a little bit of a blow right there from the Mammoth, and it gets in there, and it looks like it was attacking something else. But the halberds are going to be surging forth to attack here, and a Fireball is going to be going after Karl, and we're going to see if it gets him. The Fireball is tracking. Is Karl Franz going to be able to juke this? Aerocrastic trying his best to juke out the Fireball, and it looks like it might get him. It might get him, and it's swerving in, and it does hit Karl Franz. So very, very good tracking there. But the Soul Crusher is going to be going down to the Emperor, and the other Mammoth is in good shape. Wolfric's in good shape. The Empire does have a lot of guns that have broken, but now they're coming back. And just kind of taking a bit of a topical look at the battlefield here. There's a caster alive for the Empire. It looks like the Jade, or the Shaman Sorcerer, is still in pretty good shape. The Jade Wizard might have died, though, which is going to be pretty tough. Karl isn't going to have any more healing, and it is going to be very tough to take out Wolfric. Wolfric is going to be pretty burly. The Shaman Sorcerer most likely still has plenty of fireballs, but the guns for the Empire are kind of coming back online. So Free Company Militia here, and we have handgunners in the back that are going to be providing some serious pressure. And the Empire is able to completely secure this flank. So I think that the Empire is in a little bit of a advantage right here. I mean, yeah, the Norskins have some powerful units left, but I feel like they're going to kind of get pulled apart. And Karl Franz is just going to go around and just give the business to whatever he wants. Wolfric on foot isn't going to be able to hunt down Karl. And yeah, the Shaman Sorcerer probably not going to be in the best shape here. So the Free Company Militia are going to be shooting up at the Mammoth. Here it comes, the Soul Crusher coming in to crush the souls of these poor state troops. And brutal stuff as this guy just gets in there and gives the dirty business to them. And this is just such a close battle. The Jade Wizard did get taken out. It looks like he did fall. But yeah, this is game 3, guys. Whoever wins this is going to be going on to face Falcon in the finals. And thank you guys all so much for joining today. And we're going to see how it goes. So the War Mammoth here in a little bit of trouble, but I don't think Karl Franz is going to be in too much danger. He's just going to be able to go around, clean up all the Famir, and there's so many guns left for the Empire. Plus the Royal Altar of Griffites, even though they only have 8 models, are still a huge threat. These guys are going to be able to sweep in and potentially just finish off the man with the rear charge. But the guns of the Empire, the brave sons of Sigmar, fending off the filthy Barbarian. So the Barbarian Horde's in a little bit of trouble here. Probably don't want to engage the Shaman Sorcerer in melee. Just shoot him to pieces. Granted, I guess he's shooting the Mammoth. Fireball going in. It's going to be going after the Franzi, and it does hit Franz. Direct hit. Might be able to get him back in the game with these fireballs. Wolfric is going to be very tough to kill. State troops are faltering. Ammunition is very good on the Empire, though. I mean, they have so much ammo. They have the grenades left. The grenades are going to be able to... I mean, there's not good targets for them, but still, it's horses. They have high mass. But yeah, he probably needs to finish off these Marauders. Doesn't want those guys coming back and causing problems. And the Franz... Where does the Franz want to go? He doesn't want to go down here anymore because there are Famir and Wolfric is right next to the caster. That's probably not going to be the best usage. And the Mammoth falls to the powder of the Empire. So the second Mammoth is down. And I can't believe King of the Dead was able to make this build work so well. I mean, I guess he's trying to like subvert your expectations and catch you off guard. Beautiful play from both players. I mean, King doing a great job. And that build, I think, could catch you off guard. He was almost able to blitz through, but it seemed like Arrow was able to stabilize his gun line and, really just come back here. Sigmar bless his Ravage body. So anyways, here, you can see the Shaman Sorcerer and Wolfric going to be fighting, but at this point, I think just give them the good old ceremonial execution. A couple Berserkers or Marauders coming back. I mean, they're all Berserkers technically, right? But the Free Company Militia should be able to turn about face and take these guys out if they're going to be shooting. They're going to be lining up their pistols, and are they going to be shooting? It looks like they're going to be shooting in that direction. So unfortunately, they are going to be taking a rear charge from these Marauders here, which will probably actually maybe kill them. I mean, Marauders, they're still 30 models. Definitely not a slouch here. So at this point, I think what Aerocrastic should probably do is just go after the caster, just finish off the Shaman Sorcerer, just cycle charge him a little bit. At that point, just kill everything else. And if it's just Wolfric left, you could just run and just shoot him to pieces at that point. There's no point to like fight him in melee. Just leave him for last. So very good stuff. Aerocrastic charges in with the Reichland Runefang and Golem Ross, and that Shaman Sorcerer, his source code gets deleted from the game. And at this point, it's just going to be Wolfric, and I don't know what he's going to be able to do. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Handgunners doing their thing, just downtown shooting. And good night to the sweet Prince Wolfric. He is done for, and we will see him on the other side of the sunset here. He does have a silver shield on foot, but even still, he's just going to be getting like shot to pieces. This is great. This is like how you finish him off. Like, why fight the Eternal Challenger himself, right? Just come in. Karl Franz, I guess, has to just be an absolute, Chad here, just coming in with his hammer. And Wolfric is going to fall. So with that, Aerocrastic avenging his loss in the Ever-Chosen Invitational against King of the Dead, winning in a very closely contested 2-1 series here. And Aerocrastic is going to be moving on to the finals to face off against Falcon, which is going to be good. So there we go. Let me go ahead and update the scoreboard for you guys watching. Beautiful play by both players. King of the Dead bringing some very cool builds today. The double Mammoth against the Empire. The wild card pick, almost doing it. Hey guys, Black Iron is here. Make sure to check out his channel if you have not seen him. Black Iron Battles is a very awesome dude. There's a lot of Blood Bowl. If you guys are missing Blood Bowl on my channel, you can still see plenty of that over there. So yes, we're here. So let's go back to the caster's desk while we organize the next game. I did change shirts because the other one was, I think Wookiee like slept on it, so it smelled kind of funny. So I just like, let's change it. All right. GG indeed. Now we're going to be going on to the finals. All right. Falcon. Let's see. Arrow, stay here. And let's just have you. Let's have you join. So yeah, Falcon, if you're listening, if you could actually join this lobby, I think it would be a little bit easier for the scorecards and everything. So. Second, guys. And the maps for this one, let's go ahead. I don't know if I sent them the maps, but we'll do the Eschen. No, should not be to team. It should be to all the players. Okay, 1 second, guys. Yeah, that was good revenge for sure. Outskirts, Stallion Tomb. No, we don't want to. I think a Stallion Tomb is the one that like is. Yeah, let's see. There are a couple new maps. I don't know like how great those maps are. We can do the Sword of Torgald. It's King of the Dead, dude. Your builds were so dank. They were so good. They were so good. And we can do Alpine Ridge. And then I think we could do a good old like Chaos Wastes would be pretty good. I know there's a couple bugged maps. I'm like trying to avoid those. I forget which ones they are off the top of my head, so I'm just going with like the ones I'm used to. We can do, ooh, Essence of Chaos. Great. So pick, ban, or Gentlemen's. So we have a little bit of time while the players pick their armies to kind of hang out and chat. We're going to move back to the lobby here. See you in just a sec. We're back from outer space. So Aerocastic, let's go ahead and reset the scoreboard. And yeah, King of the Dead, you played an awesome series, dude. Those were some great games. That Lizardman build was like just beautiful. It was so good. So Falcon versus Arrow. So here, guys, we have a pretty interesting matchup here. It's going to be good. Falcon, of course, taking second place in a very hotly contested finals versus Selectla and Soothsayer. Allergies aren't too bad right now. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I took some allergy medicine, so it's not perfect, but it's not bad. So let's get Wookiee up here blocking. Now we'll just hang out with you guys. The dwarves have some really hard matchups versus both Lizardmen as well as the Skaven now. Yeah, it's the poor guys. Dude, I have Dumbo ears for sure. I do have Dumbo ears. It's something I've been telling people since I was a lad. If my hair was like, when I have a buzz cut, it looks so ridiculous because I have like, or like I used to get buzz cuts when I played football and stuff because it was better for the helmets. But my Dumbo ears would always like stick out like sideways, and it's really funny. Yeah. So game one, it's going to be Aerocastic playing the High Elves facing off against Falcon's Lizardmen. So you guys get to see the. You guys get to see some of the new stuff in action yet again. We got to see Rattling Gunners earlier. They're afraid of ending up like Turin. Everyone knows his wrist problems came from eating a hamburger while raffle stomping Italian Spartacus with chariots in Rome. No, that was actually in Total War Warhammer 2, Misha. I feel like playing one-handed would be pretty hard for me with my wrist problems. Yeah. No, Aerocastic, I can assure you, the Spark, that Aerocastic will be playing Skaven at some point. Skaven are very good now, and he is good with them already, so. It's a pretty good picture. We saw Salamanders last game, Humongous. Start when ready. Man, it's such an honor to run events with these guys. Like they just make it so easy. They're like working out the matchups. It's like just takes care of a lot of the stuff that a tournament organizer would normally have to be like really on top of. Oh, the Rat Ogre's on this. What's the name of the Rat Ogre? His name is Wookiee. Dude, if you guys were in Los Angeles, I would gladly feast on a burger with you guys. If you guys are in the neighborhood. If you made it over to my neck of the woods. Nothing's wrong with his eyes. He's just that's just how he looks. He's old now. Wookiee's very old. As a matter of fact, he's actually sleeping behind me. He's in his little dog bed back here. Did Star get nerfed? The Star of Averlorn? I'm not sure. I think it did. I think it got like a nerf of like 10% or 15%. So Jordan, I'm going to be finishing my own campaign first, my solo campaign, and then from there I will probably do a head-to-head with Spartacus. Yes. I like streaming on YouTube. I don't know. I get that nice family vibe from you guys. Like, I don't know. I've never had like the desire to stream on Twitch. I don't know why. I really just like streaming on YouTube. There's no like logical reason for it. I mean, I could do double streams, like restream. That would probably be the smarter thing to do. But can you donate a burger? Quinn, I would gladly take that right now. I'm very hungry, actually. Yeah. Someday maybe I'll do Twitch. And one of the biggest issues about why I don't stream on Twitch is I've actually like gotten pretty close to doing it a couple times, like just double streaming, but my name is taken on Twitch. There's like some channel. The channel has like one, it's not even active. It's like a dead channel. It's not even a channel. It's just a user. And they have like no activity whatsoever. And my name is taken on there. So I really like, every time I go to do it, I'm like, I don't know. Like screw it. I'm just, that was a big thing, really. I was going to just call it like Turn RTS, just real-time strategy, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, I would stream both. If I did do that, I would stream on both platforms for sure. All right, guys, so let's go and double check, make sure everything's good in the sound department, and we are good to go. So, for the forces, and Wookiee, Wookiee's not blocking anymore, is he? Okay, he's good. So for the forces of Aerocastic, we are going to be seeing Teclis, which is a very good choice. He does have nets and enfeebling foe, so for dealing with big monsters, you enfeeble them, and for dealing with even bigger monsters, you net them down. He does also have healing. Now, this is a great pick against the new dinosaurs. We have the Fireborn, so anti-large, but more importantly, they have huge fire resist. So they're going to be taking almost no damage from salamanders. If you can see, they have a 70% fire resist. So ancient salamanders, standard salamanders, the solar engines, none of those guys are going to be doing huge damage. In the back, he does also have Sisters of Avalorn. He has 3 groups of those bad boys, 2 bolt throwers. Front line's mostly going to be spearmen. And it looks like he does also have a Turin chariot. So very cool army here. Relatively elite with 3 sisters plus the Fireborn. But that's some pretty good firepower against any big threats. And for Falcon, he does have a Saurus Old Blood in the back. So going back to the old school a little bit. So Saurus Old Blood going to be a pretty powerful duelist, but also a huge target for nets and bolt throwers. So could be a little bit scary here for our boy Falcon. As far as the front line, it's a combination of the Red Crested Skinks and Standard Skink cohorts, which is a good choice. They have good AP against White Lions, and honestly, they'll do okay against Spearmen. I don't know if he has the RORs. I don't think he does. But up in the skies, we do have the Powhawks' Sentinels. These guys are very cool. These are the ROR Pterodon Riders. They have the epic rock drop. So if you guys go ahead and take a look, and they have good combat sets. They can actually kill archers very quick. They have the drop rocks of Sundering. So whenever they bomb something, lowers the armor by 30 for 30 seconds, which really isn't terrible. On the flank, he does have the Horned Ones, and it looks like Horned Ones and Horned Ones. So this is like a vintage Falcon build. Just going in there with like massive amounts of Horned Ones, heavy armor, and just trying to overload the flanks, which is going to be very tough for those spears. And like, I don't know how Aerocrastic is going to be defending against 3 Horned Ones in that back line. It is going to be a messy affair for sure. Falcon is so good at overloading positions. Up in the skies, he has Wind Blast with Harmonic Convergence, and that is pretty much it. So very, very cool build from both players. And this is it. This is the finals. This is best of 5. And yes. Yeah, Total Turin. Yeah, I could do that. That's actually my name in... Total Turin is my name on what's it called? Reddit? Yeah. Yes. No, but I'll gladly have Gobble King in my tournament in the future if he'd like to. You know, I just got the impression after the last ever chosen that, I think he said at some point he didn't want to play in like tournaments anymore. But yeah, if he wants to, more than willing, for sure. I'd love to have him in my Eternal Challenger League and just flash tournaments. He's an awesome player to watch. Really, really good. Gobble King is such a good player. All right, so now for this battle right here, we do have the Powhawks of Sentinels and a little bit of a Vanguard just lurking in the shadows, and we're going to see if Aerocrastic can survive this onslaught of Horned Ones. It's going to be a ton of pressure. I mean, the Sisters are going to be able to tear them apart, and the Fireborn do provide some pretty good defensive capabilities, but it is going to be a lot of work. Horned Ones Rampage? Yeah, they do Rampage, I think. Yeah, they Rampage here. If you guys take a look, Horned Ones do still Rampage, but when they do Rampage, they get melee attack and a charge bonus, so it's kind of cool. So whenever they charge something off their Rampage, they're going to be doing some work. On one hand, I want Aerocrastic to win. On the other hand, he's playing High Elves. Oh, man. Please, could you rank the new Lords? Yeah, I think that Ikit Claw is a little bit better than Tenenhuan. Although it's hard to say. Tenenhuan is pretty good with his... no, that's not true. They're both really good. I wouldn't say one's better than the other. Tenenhuan gives poison to all nearby troops, and he can summon Manscores. That's competitive already. Really good mounts. And Ikit Claw has great mount options. Really good items with the Brass Orb and the Storm Demon with the basically Hand of the Gods. I mean, they're both super good. I couldn't rank them. I think they're they're both very good. So Falcon, the champion of the Extreme Meme team, going to be facing off against QSA, the clan leader, Aerocrastic. And here we go. Yeah, drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream. We're almost at 1,000 people. Damn, that is balls deep. So if you guys are enjoying, please drop a like. It does help quite a bit. I'd like to get up over 500 if we could. Yes. Yeah, Tenenhuan is a prophet of Sotek in terms of lore. Are they waiting for me? Yeah. No need to wait once in battle. Cool. Showtime. Which lord makes a better burger? Probably Ikit Claw, because like he's kind of like a mad scientist. I feel like he would come up with like, you know how like McDonald's, like in their burgers, they put like these like taste like they imbue their burgers with like chemicals to make them like taste better. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's still like that. Maybe it's not anymore with the new era of healthy food and whatnot. But I feel like Ikit Claw would come up with some like warp contraption to make the burger very like addictive and tasty. You know, some like warp oil. I don't know. Might mutate you a little bit, but it would probably be better than that of Tenenhuan. I don't know. Who knows? Tenenhuan's would probably be a little bit like undercooked. I have a feeling. Turin Chariot's going to be sweeping into the front line, taking out these skinks, getting a beautiful charge here. So Aerocrastic, probably expecting a lot of skinks going to be tearing into the formation. He does have to watch out for the croc scores. The bolt throwers are shooting in. Oh, this is risky. He's going to be using a net of Amnitok right here on top of the skink priest, and all of these sisters are going to be shooting. A huge wind blast going down and shrekking those spearmen. So this front line is going to be faltering super quick. Granted, Falcon might actually lose the skink priest. I mean, it's going to be taking a ton of damage from the focus fire of these sisters. He needs to finish that off. In the meantime, the Fireborn going to be farming ranks. Spearmen going to be trying to get in front of them. But this backline is very open. This is very scary. If Falcon is able to sweep through here, he's going to be getting a ton of value. And with that, you can see Aerocrastic is going to be swooping in with the white lines to make sure that he can block off that and deny that position. But the Saurus Old Blood is going to be charging into the Dragon Princes. And oh, this is going to be so scary. These Fireborn are going to be taking a ton of damage. Horn 1, Saurus, Old Blood, all kinds of pressure coming in. And the Skink Priest is pretty much dead. Now, he's probably going to be able to come back. He does have the Cold Blood, 434 HP. If he shatters him, that would be pretty nice. But the White Lines have had to go forward to rush for and deal with these Skink cohorts. Horn 1s are going to be rampaging in the back line a little bit. Sisters with the Crossfire doing some okay work. But it looks like there's going to be an Earthblood going down here. But I think Falcon is going to be dominating this flank. And I don't know if Aerocrastic can stop this. This is too much pressure. I mean, these guys are going to be coming in here. The Powhawks, the Sentinels up in the skies. It looks like Falcon is probably going to be using these guys to maybe just chase off the scraps. So when he is able to kill something, I think he's going to go for it. And here, the Horn Ones just going to town. And I can tell you from experience, I play against Falcon all the time. It is so tough to stop these flank overloads he does with the Horn Ones. People think it's easy. They're like, oh yeah, I just have spears and cab. It is not. Like, these huge Horn One pressure flanks are so damn good. So the elf front line is pretty much in shambles as well. The back line's in shambles. And with that, it looks like Falcon is going to be taking a pretty quick game one. Arrow had some really good plays. He was able to take out that Skink Caster, but the Horned One pressure, I mean, that is just vintage Falcon. I kind of like that, like, as this game, like, you know, gets older and older, you can, like, these players, like, earn reputations and just, like, these play styles. And, man, that Lizardman play is just so nasty. I mean, I think you would need, like, a lot more. I mean, maybe you can mix in with, like, some Phoenix Guard and things like that. But anyways, Teclis is going to be jumping in there, just last Samuraiing against the Saurus Old Blood. But he's just going to be getting his soul feasted on by this guy. And the Powhawks, the Sentinels, and the Red Crested Skinks are going to be surging forward. And that is going to be game one for Falcon in a quick 3-minute battle. Damn, son. That was crazy. That was a crazy game. The Falcon Classic. Yeah. Crazy stuff. That was a brutal rush. So Falcon winning the first match in this best of 5 finals here between Aerocrastic and himself, of course. And man, that Lizardman rush was nasty. And I like that he mixed in the Red Crested Skinks. Because if your opponent does go with White Lions in the front line, those guys will trade very effectively. And yeah, that was just nasty, nasty build. And it worked so well. Arrow went with a very missile-heavy build, and he wasn't able to defend it all. You know, it was a valiant attempt for sure, but yeah. And here we go. So the next map is going to be the Altdorf Outskirts, I believe. Yeah. I'll let him know. Outskirts. Yeah, some Phoenix Guard would have been helpful for sure, but it's tough. Dimmy G says, every time he plays against Falcon, the games get shorter and shorter. Those rocks went balls deep into the sisters, did they? I didn't see that. You just wanted an excuse to say that, didn't you? Yeah, I think he maybe cut the bolt throwers. I don't think they did too much for him. And then just get a couple more defensive units, and I think he could have defended a little bit better. Yeah, it was just too much to defend, I think. All right, got to adjust this chair a little bit. So we're going to have Aerocrastic on the Empire. Falcon will be playing most likely an Elf faction, would be my guess. He's very good at High Elves as well, so I think we might actually see him switch to High Elves at this point. And we have broken 1,000 people on stream, 1,029. Thank you guys so much for joining. Perfect timing. You're here for the finals. And for anybody who missed the earlier games, if you want to see Rattling Gunners be used in competitive play very well, that was done earlier. If you want to see Ripperdactyls used, they did just a beast mode of a job earlier by King of the Dead. Lots of good stuff. So if you guys want to go back and watch those, make sure you do it. So thank you guys so much. We've broken 1,000 viewers, which is always pretty good and tasty. And it looks like Aerocrastic is going to be going with the Empire against Falcon's Wood Elves. Now, Falcon does not play Wood Elves like most people play Wood Elves. He does not use archers, typically. He uses massive amounts of Wild Riders, the Horn of the Wild Hunt, and just goes in with Orion and Mel Gibson. It is beautiful stuff. Yeah. I mean, getting that caster was really good because Windblast is so gross against the elves. So I think that was the right play, shooting the caster down. But from there, just the flank battle was so bad because Falcon was able to get the Saurus Old Blood to kind of break the charge of the Fireborn. And from there, he countercharged him. It was just nasty, nasty stuff. 1,000 burgers mailed to me. I'll take it. Oh, the patch notes tomorrow? Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll do a video on it. Don't worry, guys. Ripperdactyls are really strong. Those things are so good against factions like Chaos and Beastmen. They just like tear infantry up. Yeah, drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream. No pressure. It does help from a business perspective. Falcon is Mel Gibson. Is he? Yeah, the Skaven campaign's really fun. They do have a nuke, which is incredibly just badass to watch. So good and tasty. Like I just want to just stream everything. Ikit Claw. Somebody actually commented on my last video and said Ikit Claw is basically the Emperor. He has a huge super weapon and it has unlimited power. Yeah, he is. He literally is. I know I've used Skrulk as like the Emperor in thumbnails, but Man, this guy's like the true emperor. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. The nuke bit. Oh my god, the nuke is so good in the campaign. All right, here we go. Just checking the stream quality and everything. Hey, thank you, Black Iron Battles, for linking. Hey, Zyphos, I see you in chat. If you could shoot me a message, I actually had a question for you. If you could shoot me a message in Discord. Zyphos. Yeah, so Aerocrastic versus Falcon here. Start when ready. We're on the outskirts. It's going to be Empire versus what else? We're going to see if Aero can pull this game back and survive the Falcon rush. Falcon's coming out with those like nasty, nasty builds. Like he's just coming in with the seal chair. Tic-Tac-Toe will be okay, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. So Ikit Claw's Palpatine memes? Soon. Today's thumbnail, I put Ikit Claw. I had a really good game versus Falcon, actually, where it was his Lizardmen against my Skaven. It was the first battle I put up today on my channel. And it's a really good battle if you guys want to see that. We use some very cool units. What is this heresy? Ikit Claw literally does have an ability called Unlimited Power, guys. It's like a thing. It does have a massive overcast chance, which makes sense, I suppose. Yeah. Let's see here, guys. Yeah, the battle's up. You guys will be able to see it all now. Ikit Claw, Palpatine cackles. Second, guys. And here we go. Perfect. Everything looks good. We're going to be jumping into game 2 in this best of 5 finals here. Can you link your monitor that you are using? Yeah, it's a pretty good screen, MGL. I'm pretty sure it's in my channel description. If you go to that, you're going to be able to see what I'm using. It's like an older monitor. It's from 2016, but it's still really good. It's like this huge curved monitor. It's a Samsung monitor. I don't know if I can see on it. I don't think I can. Some of the Elector counts. Game 2. Matchup is going to be the Empire fighting on the outskirts of Altdorf. You can see the big statue of Sigmar there in the distance looking pretty badass. And it's going to be Falcon's Wood Elves versus Aerocrastic's Empire. Yeah, like most people hate watching Wood Elves, but the way Falcon plays it, it makes it fun to watch. Granted, he might, again, subvert our expectations and go with like a super, archer-heavy build, but I feel like Falcon doesn't really care what his opponents bring. He just like typically just goes with his style of play that works for him, and he just has it down to a T. It's like, for example, if you're like looking at MMA, you're watching like a fighter, like let's say, I'm trying to think of someone that's a pretty good example. Like you watch Daniel Cormier, right? He's a MMA fighter. He's one of the best wrestlers. He was an Olympic wrestler, and like he's just a dominant MMA fighter. But like he's known for his wrestling, right? And his like kind of dirty boxing. But even if you know it's coming, it's still very hard to stop it. Most of his opponents like prepare for it, but it still like doesn't matter. He's just so good at that style of fighting that like it's whatever. It's doing its thing. 4-way watchers, no one would expect it. So for the armies of Falcon, we got Wild Riders, Sisters of Thorn, which is pretty much the standard stuff, the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, and we're probably going to be seeing the Glady up in the skies, or the Glade Lord, the Glade Bro. So the reason you bring him is because he has the Helm of Discord and Call of the Wild. So if you stack him on top of the Wild Riders in the main pit fight, he's able to give him some really good buffs. So the Helm of Discord does give negative 27 melee defense and negative 26 melee attack. And he does have the Call of the Woods. It gives a plus 5 melee attack. So it's a very good Death Star. From there, he just runs like Spears and Dryads to just fight state troops. It's pretty damn cost effective for sure. He does also have a Branch Wraith here in the forest. And for the forces of Aerocrastic, he does have a bunch of Spearmen and state troops here in the front line. He has Outriders with grenade launchers to kill the Dryads, Empire Knights. Empire Knights trade relatively efficiently in Reichsguard against Wild Riders, but with Falcon's Death Star and the Sisters, who are going to be dropping debuffs, the Curse of On-Rare, it can be very tough for those Empire Knights to actually win that fight. I mean, their stats are just very pitiful in terms of those are Reichsguard and Reichsguard. Where do those Empire Knights go? They're around there somewhere, but I think it's like in the 20s, 26 and 28. They have really good armor. Wild Riders do have bad AP, so I think if Aerocrastic doesn't commit to like a huge Alpha Strike fight and just kind of like trickles in the Empire Knights and just slowly wears down the Wood Elves with his cannons and ranged pieces, I think that will be the way to do it. He does have a Bright Wizard with Fireball and the Flaming Sword, Boris Todbringer up in the skies, and Hammer of the Witches in the back. So that's pretty much it. Nice little army, a bunch of heavy cav, Reichsguard, Empire Knights across the board, and it's go time. Yes. The old Mike Tyson. Yeah, no, the Mike Tyson quote is like the perfect summary of like Falcon's playstyle. It's like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. That is like one of the best quotes. And I've had that experience before. It's very true. Like I remember when I when I was a little bit younger, in my early 20s. I'm 30 now, but I used to do boxing. So for the first time, I had trained boxing a couple years. I'd like trained for like 2 or 3 years, you know, just doing mitt work and hitting the bag and that kind of stuff. But then I was like, you know what, I kind of want to spar and take it to the next level, because I feel like you don't truly learn anything about fighting until you actually spar someone. So I go in against a guy. I have like 40 pounds on him. I'm faster. I'm stronger than him. I just have all the physical advantages, but he had more experience sparring and boxing. And like, he just like beat the brakes off me, man. I just remember that. And like, I had this plan, like how I wanted to take him down until he punched me in the face. It's such a true thing. So obviously you can kind of negate that with the longer you fight and the more experience you get, but it's a very, very, humbling experience for sure. But anyways, the Dryads are going to be marching forward. The Wood Elves coming in with their massive flank overload. Again, Falcon basically doing the same thing with the Wood Elves that he does with the dinosaurs. Boris Todbringer probably not going to be having any of that shit, though. And it looks like these sisters might be charging in to get these Umbrae Spearmen right here, but the Empire Heavy Cav charging in. So Aerocrastic does have really good micros. So he's going to be able to kind of match those movements of Falcon pretty efficiently. And the Empire Knights coming down the pipe, just going to be ramrodding these Dryads. A beautiful Reiksguard charge, just fat and chubby, just getting all over those Dryads. So they're just going to get melted right there. But again, Falcon coming in with the overload. The Glade Lord's going to be charging in. The Shield of Thorns going down. Over here on the far side, the Empire Knights are going to be charging the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, which is actually a pretty even trade here for the Empire. So I like that Aerocrastic did not commit everything to this fight. He's going to lose his position, but again, Falcon is committing all of his marbles, the Shield of Thorns, the Helm of Discord. All that stuff is going to be going down here, I would imagine. Toddy's going to be coming in as well. Over here, it's not a bad fight, though. The Wild Hunters of Kurnus are taking some damage, and the Outriders with grenade launchers are doing very good. And the Empire seems to be doing okay in the front line. Some of the Reiksguard are going to be cleaning up the Dryads here, and it looks like the Azurai Spears are going to be falling back, which are the Loyal Tricksters. So far the battle's pretty even. That initial engagement did go very well for Falcon. He was able to break off those Reiksguard, but for the most part, it's not like a disaster. The cannon in the back is in pretty good shape. There are some spears that are going to be rotating over, and there is another group of Reiksguard who are going to be intercepting these Wild Riders right here. So these Wild Riders with shields going to be jumping up here. Oh, this is not good. They might actually get on this cannon, which is going to be tough. And you can see Aerocrastic is going to be dropping the cannon crew, and he does have some Empire Knights in the back that might be able to intercept those guys. But back in the main fight, we have another big pit fight, and this is actually going to probably lose Aerocrastic the game, I think. Falcon is able to just get so much value against those Reiksguard and those Spearmen and those other troops, and goddamn, that build is nasty. And you can see here that the Reiksguard here are trying their best to defend the back line, but where's Toddy? Toddy's up in the sky, not doing a whole lot. I'm not sure what he was doing over there. Maybe he was trying to chase something off the battlefield. But the cannon is, yeah, it's going to get back online most likely. And the Empire has formed a bit of a second battle line here. Some state troops collapsing on the back of the Wild Riders. And maybe Aerocrastic is going to be able to pull this game back, but the Dragon is in really good shape. Aerocrastic is probably going to be losing his caster right now, which is going to be tough. The caster, yeah, just getting hunted. I mean, its soul potentially going to be feasted on here. So the Glade Lord is going to be getting attacked by the caster. Maybe Toddy's going to come in as well and attack this guy. Hard to say. The Empire Heavy Cav are going to get the Flaming Sword of Ruin and intercept those Sisters of Thorn, which is going to be nice. The magic damage from the Flaming Sword of Ruin is going to be able to circumvent the physical resist of those sisters. And the Empire's holding, and somehow the Empire is clawing their way back into this game. Aerocrastic coming in with Boris Todbringer. I'm putting a bit of a bullying here on the Glade Lord, and the Wood Elves are actually washing against the tide of these state troops and these Empire Knights, and you can see the Loyal Tricksters actually getting taken out heavily by the grenade play of Aerocrastic. The Hammer of the Witches is pretty much offline, can't really go anywhere, but Toddy is just bullying this Forest Dragon. Up here on the high ground, now that, the Dragon isn't able to support the Heavy Cav, or the Cav of the Wood Elves, not Heavy Cav, the Empire Knights and the Reiksguard are able to pull a little bit ahead in terms of this battle. The Dragon is going to be jumping in as well to give the Call of the Wild. We're going to see if these Sons of Sigmar are able to stabilize here. The balance power is actually pretty even. There still are some state troops fighting here, and the Bright Wizard was actually able to survive that engagement, which is pretty good. And it looks like the Empire Knights are able to do some pretty good work here. Check this out. So the Reiksguard doing pretty well. These Reiksguard doing well. And Toddy is just giving the business to this Glade Lord. So Aerocrastic, not wanting to go down quietly in this game, is going to be chasing this guy, and it looks like he might be able to pull this one back. If Toddy is able to just bully this Glade Lord off the battlefield, that would be huge. In the meantime, the Empire State troops are going to be rallying right here, and we will see. Aerocrastic might be able to pull this one out. I mean, we've seen him come back from some serious deficits in Everchosens and countless tournaments. And if he's able to free up this area right here, he might be able to get the Hammer of the Witches back. These Loyal Tricksters are going to be charging in, but they're going to be taking a fat charge from these Empire Knights. They weren't braced, and they have popped these Storm of Blades, so their melee defense is going to be a little bit lower. And the Grenades just doing some serious work. So he does have two groups of the Grenade Launchers, which are going to be excellent at cleaning up the Dryads and some of these other troops. And, yeah. It's just straight business here. So Boris Todbringer is going to be getting a terror route right there. You can see the Reiksguard just doing serious work. Their armor is too much for these Dryads to handle. And with that, it looks like Aerocrastic is pulling his way back into this game. Toddy and his powerful ass mustache just doing the work of the Dark Lord here. And yeah, look at this. Dryads are going to be breaking. Grenades are just tearing into these guys. And I don't know if this Glade Lord is going to be able to do it. I feel like Toddy is in really good shape. And where is that Bright Wizard? Is he still around? The Bright Wizard might have actually been picked off here. Some of these Sisters of Thorn are going to be chasing. And yeah, he really needs that caster. I mean, the fireball would be very helpful right now. But the Dryad's taking those grenades to the face, and it looks like the dragon is going to be jumping down there to help out a little bit. But Toddy's probably going to be swooping back in to take that guy out. And ooh, a beautiful Toddy charge getting right into the side of that Glade Lord. And man, what a game this is. This is serious business. The grenades going in there, hitting those Dryads. Very, very good grenade launcher play. 46 kills and 38 on those bad boys. The Dryads here are able to clean up shop a little bit, but it's really going to come down to the fact, can Toddy win this battle? If Toddy can kill the Glade Lord, I'm pretty sure the game will go to the Empire. But I think if the Glade Lord is able to survive, it's just going to be too much for Toddy to handle because the Branch Wraith is here. There's still a ton of pressure, but he does have a lot of grenades left. He has a lot of them, but there are some Wood Elves in the distance. Sisters of Thorn are going to be coming back. It looks like the Bright Wizard did get killed. And it looks like the dragon is just going to be bum rushing this back line. Toddy is a little bit out of position. Maybe he's going to go after the Branch Wraith. Hard to say, but man, what a well-fought battle by both of these players. Very, very even. We're going to see if the Empire can endure. It's going to be tough to say. So up here in the skies, Boris Todbringer going to be going. Grenades going in on the Glade Lord, actually. Doing a little bit of damage. I mean, Glade Lord isn't super heavily armored. Only has 50. And Toddy coming in with a steel chair. He's going to be clubbing this Glade Lord over the head. He gets some huge damage. And with that damage, the Empire actually does a pretty good job. And look at this. The Hammer of the Witch's crew is going to be rushing forward to fight. Just all men, grab your swords, go in there. You got to fight. You got to endure. And some of these Outriders with grenade launchers are taking some damage from the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, which is an unfortunate little engagement there. But the Glade Lord is taking a beating as well. But Toddy needs to get back here and clean up the situation. He needs to salvage these Outriders if he can and maybe get a bit of a terror route. But I think the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, they're if they don't have Frenzy, I believe they can be terror routed. But those Hammer of the Witch's crews, those guys are the true heroes of Sigmar. Getting in there fighting when they don't have their cannons. They're just getting in there and just having to do it themselves. The grenades are going to be shooting in against some of these guys. It's just Toddy versus the world, really. I mean, the Empire does have, ooh, look at this. 27 spears over here. These ones, unfortunately, are broken. Felcon is so good at chasing things off the battlefield. These grenade launchers are going to have to kite a little bit and just buy time for Toddy to do some heavy lifting. So this Glade Lord up in the sky is pretty vulnerable, but he does have a bow himself. So he's going to be able to chase these guys down and do some work. Felcon is most certainly going to be chasing the Hammer of the Witches off the battlefield. I mean, yeah, you have to. If that thing comes back in the late game somehow after a very grindy fight, it's going to be tough. So these grenade launchers turn and fight. They try and get a last volley here onto the Wild Hunters, but they're going to be standing and engaging with the dragon. But Toddy needs to catch up. He needs to get this dragon. That's the only way the Empire can get back in the game is if the dragon goes, I think. I don't think there's any other way. Now, a terror route here on the edge of the battlefield could be pretty good. Glade Lord does get the Shield of Thorns, which is going to give him pretty good physical resist. Boris is going to be fighting, but the dragon's going to be fighting back, and he now has some support. He also has the Wild Hunters of Kurnus nearby, if I'm not mistaken, which means he has Guardian. So he has Guardian, he has Shield of Thorns. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think the Empire can endure. I think Felcon, after a very close game, Aerocrastic with some beautiful comebacks there. But alas, it looks like the final Alpha Strike is going to be going down, and no, Toddy's mustache is not going to be powerful enough to do his thing. And thank you so much, Black Iron, for linking the Discord and chat. Do appreciate that quite a bit. But that's going to be game 2 for Felcon. So two very blitzy builds coming in here. And he could potentially 3-0 this final. It's going to be hard to say. Damn, that was a great game. That was a really good game. Well played to both players. I mean, that is very hard to stop, that flank overload. He's so good at it. He's so good at it. Damn. That was incredible. So well played to both players there, to Aerocrastic and Felcon. That's going to be 2-0, but remember the finals are always a best of 5 in these series here. So, and the winner will be earning a massive $50 prize. Let's get Wookie back, and we'll get ready for the last game here. Good stuff. Game 3. Let's see what happens. BO5. I'm just reminding them that it's a best of 5. So now we kind of have to root for Arrow a little bit so we can get more gameplay. You know, I feel like that's pretty important. Although, damn, that's some good stuff there. We're going to see what Aerocrastic pulls out here for his last game. Both builds were so good. That was such a good game. God damn. And we're going to be on the Sword of Torgald, which is one of my favorite maps, actually. It's really, really good. You'd like to see Felcon play a Dwarf Blitz build? I don't know how that would work. Felcon's going to be going greenskins. Oh, and yeah, he's coming in with the Skaven. What a hero. Aerocrastic coming in with the Skaven, maybe the Steel Chair. We're going to see how good the new Skaven are against the greenskins. This is going to be great. And we get to actually see it with like some of the best players out there. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. Yes. Who needs archers with Wood Elves? That's right. Oh, he's sleeping back there. Wookie's like just passed out behind me. He's just like a little bear right now. It's so adorable. All right, let's see here. Make sure to drop a like on the stream if you guys are enjoying it. It does help quite a bit. Tomb King's all chariots. That's what King of the Dead would do for sure. Yes, yes. This is a hard matchup for the greenskins, I think. But I wonder how Aerocrastic's going to play it. Oh no, never mind. It's actually Norska. So Aerocrastic is going to be playing Norska. Or, I mean, Skaven, and then Falcon's going to be playing Norska. This is going to be an interesting one, Bob. I don't know how I feel about this. No, he switched. He switched the build. So it's a different matchup now. Because they're in voice chat together, and they're working out the matchups as we speak. So, yes. All right, 1 second here. All right. Ikit Claw with the wheelchair. That's pretty funny. Ikit Claw with the steel wheelchair. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, we could see some Doom players. I don't know. It's hard to say. Is he going to be the ROR Doom wheels and stuff? I really just think it's going to come down to the fact, can Aerocrastic defend his back line? If he can defend his back line against Falcon's harass, he should be in good shape. The Skaven, gun power is really, really strong. But it's really hard to defend against Norscan backline harass. The Norscan Ice Hounds have pretty good mass, and they can push through things, and it's really hard. I mean, Sword of Torgald's a pretty good map for it. It is relatively open field, but there is that trench in the middle that's going to make it tougher. Aerocrastic's build looks pretty good so far. All Jezzails, oh my god. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jezzail backline, that would be a pretty funny build, like mass Jezzails with like 6 Rattling Gunners in the front, just like in Skaven Slaves, just like mowing things down. I don't know if you would win. You might be able to win against like Dwarves with that. Yeah. Our Skaven are pretty good in campaign, but honestly, the campaign with what's his name, Ikit Claw, is actually pretty hard. It's a tricky one. Like I mean, I'm not the best campaign player. There's a lot of things I didn't know about campaign, like about like how you can't destroy coastal buildings, and like I forgot that Skaven could use Underway in my first episode. I only play campaign when it first comes out. I usually don't play it like between. I just focus on multiplayer, so I'm a little bit rusty on it, but nonetheless. ROR, Immune to Psychology. We could see the Blight Scab Plague Pack. Those guys are pretty good. They're really good if you want to play like a Death Star. If you're not going to be like using guns, if you just want to use like the flares and like things like that, because it gives like your huge blob immune to psych, which is very nice. We might see his ever-chosen final game build, the Mass Werewolves. Oh my god. Who is a good doggo? We'll see. My dogs behind me actually thought I was like talking to them. They both like looked at me when I said, who's a good doggo? Deacon, Scale Singer. Yeah, maybe I'll do a game or two after this. I'm down for that. I could like jump and chat with the guys. But, we'll see. I gotta get some food and stuff too, so maybe not. Maybe I won't do too many. When is the Wookiee getting added to the Beastman? You think it's going to be an all-wolf build from Falcon? That would actually probably not be terrible against Skaven. I mean, the guns can put them down, but aside from that, like all the Doom Wheels and Ogres like and Flayers, they all lose to Skin Wolves. So honestly, the Werewolf build could work pretty good. I would love to play Vermintide Austin Wrath, but it's a little bit tough in my hand, just all the spam clicking. So yeah, I don't do that. I would like to play a lot more games. I would stream every day if I didn't have fan problems. All right, here we go. Showtime. The good boy build, the best of boys. Well, if you, Atharv, if you want to see a mass Rattling gun, that's what my campaign's going to be. Once I get to like episode 3 or 4, it's going to be like mass Rattling guns, 100%. So tune into my campaign if you want to see that. Episode 1 was put out today. It's not the best episode, but nonetheless, I will be using it. I will be using it quite a bit. And we do have the screen blocker is not there, causing problems. Yeah, Falcon's up 2-0. If he wins this, it's gonna be over. And drop a like, please. I know a lot of you guys are watching from phones, and it is tough, but there's a lot of like competition out there, and it does help quite a bit because YouTube's like algorithm pushes videos with more likes, so it does help. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the build of Norska while these Skaven set up. So for Norska, we're going to have the Maws of Savagery. So it's not a pure werewolf build, but there are quite a few. We do have the Skinwolf Werkin. We have the Maws of Savagery, who are going to be really good against Flayers and Furnaces and Doom Wheels. We have Norscan Ice Troll, so a lot of high mass. Probably expecting there to be like a Blitz build, like with Rat Ogres and just a Death Star. So I like this quite a bit. Norscan Ice Trolls, Skinwolves. He does have the Famir Mistalkers. who do cause terror as well, so that's going to be quite good against Skaven. For his leadership, he does have the Skinwolf Werkin. He's got Wolfric on a chariot, and he does have a Premier Balefiend with fire, so going to be shooting some sweet fireballs. Oh yeah, I watched Game of Thrones last night. It was great. Man, you know what's like, we get so spoiled by Netflix. Like, watching Netflix is like, you can binge the shows and you're like, hell yeah, but like Game of Thrones having to wait, oh god, it's so painful. It's so painful. Anyways. Black Iron Battles put up a live video of 1,000 Ratling guns taking on 18,000 peasants. Oh my god. That must be insanity. I'll have to go check that out after this. I speak a little bit of Japanese. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Norscan army. And for the Skaven, who are going to be helmed by Aerocrastic, we have Gutter Runners. The whole front line is just going to be Clan Rats, and Ikit Claw. So Ikit Claw is going to be on his Doom Wheel, and he does have his new item. So he has the Storm Demon, which is pretty good against Norska, who can't heal. It's basically like a Hand of the Gods from Krakar. He's got the Brass Orb, Unlimited Power, Howling Warp Gale against Frost Dragons, Warp Lightning, as well as Death Frenzy. So very, very good stuff there. In the back, we have the Teeth Breakers, the ROR of the Rattling Gunners. These bad boys are going to be very good against monsters, and I love that Aerocrastic has these layers, but he needs to be very careful to defend that back line. And my one concern is Aerocrastic does not have a lot of good mass, so he's really going to have to rely on his infantry to defend his back line, which I think is going to be very tough. I mean, this is a very exposed back line. There's just a couple Skaven slaves, and you know Falcon's coming for that ass, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for sure. But it's a good build nonetheless, and we're going to see what happens. He does also have the Warplock Jezzails and Warplock Jezzails, so he has plenty of tools against the large threats, but Falcon with a huge vanguard. Up in the hills, he does have the Beast of Tashnar, the Maws of Savagery, and the Miststalkers, so a huge overload, which is going to be super good against this Skaven Jezzail play, and I just feel like Arrow isn't going to be able to defend this formation. He's sending out his Doom Wheels, which are his only high mass units. I mean, this is going to be a nasty, nasty position. Aerocrastic does see that immediately, though. He reacts, he's looking, he's paying attention, so he's going to be pulling back all these troops here. And now the Jezzails are going to be going downtown, actually trying to snipe the Marauder Chieftain. So it's not Wolfric, it's actually a Chieftain. My apologies for that. But the backline harass is coming in. So the Beasts of Tashnar are going to be going straight for the cannon. These Clan Rats with Spears need to reform ranks. And the Rattling Gunners are going to be able to suppress these doggies. So the doggies are going to be getting slowed a little bit, down to 61 speed. And from there, the Clan Rats are probably going to be able to form ranks and defend against them. But even still, the dogs still get on that piece. And the Ikid Zapclaw is going to be taking a lot of damage. The Jezzails have turned about face. They're just going to be unleashing all their ammunition over here into these Skinwolves and Maws of Savagery. But these Norscan dogs are killing this Ikid Zap Cannon, which is going to be a little bit tricky. The frontline engagement's going pretty decent for the Skaven. The Hamster Wheels are just kind of rolling through. They're able to completely break off those Norscan Ice Trolls with some Focus Fire. The other Doom Wheel, the Wheels of Doom, able to break off or actually do some really lethal damage to that Marauder Champion. So far, pretty even battle. And the Rattling Gunners are suppressing the Werewolf. So the Werewolf, Skinwolf Erikin getting pressured, but the Norscan Doggos are going to be jumping onto the Rattling Gunners, but Aerocrastic has a very spread out build, which is good. He's kind of playing it like Dwarves. So he's able to get some really good downtown fire onto the Skinwolf Werkin. He really needs to keep these Rattling Gunners alive. There's a wild dog jumping behind me. But anyways, the Rattling Gunners are doing some pretty good work shooting downtown here. Jezzail's continuing to just unleash hell, but I don't know, it's going to be tough. The Doom Wheels are doing a really good job too, though, so both players are kind of getting the upper hand on one another in different aspects of the battle. The backline is a little bit scary, but look at this Werewolf. It is being taken apart by this Jezzail team. Just look at these bad boys with their sniper rifles just shooting in there. And check this out. Aerocrastic uses the Death Frenzy, I think, over here in this main battle line to buff up all these Clan Rats, and the Skinwolf Werkin is actually getting taken out by the Skaven snipers. So a beautiful reaction from Aerocrastic, able to stabilize his backline, and the Doom Wheels are just wrecking the front line of Norska. Ikit Claw just doing work. The Wheels of Doom just mass terror routing, and I feel like this is going to be a quick game for the Skaven. The Rattling Gunners are just going to be suppressing here. The Skinwolf Werkin, that guy needs to be finished off. 100% shoot him and get him off the battlefield. But yeah, I don't know. There's just too many Skaven. I don't think that the Norskins are going to be able to push through this one. I mean, the Maws of Savagery, the backline units that came in with that initial flank are just being taken apart by the Skaven guns. Here in the back, we're going to have some Last Samurai. I'm sure you can see that. Oh, the Storm Demon is going to be coming down. So we're going to see if it's going to make contact. Storm Demon shooting. Oh, and unfortunately it does miss. A little bit of a swing and a miss there. But the Last Samurai, this guy's truly being Last Samurai. He's wavering, and he's probably going to be breaking as all of these Skaven guns in the backline are going to be turning. Nice little Warp Lightning going down as well on top of these troops, and the Wheels of Doom are in great shape. The Miststalkers are broken. Ikit Claw is in great shape, just rolling around, just straight up Limp Bizkit rolling, doing a really, really good job. And yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff here. You can see the Teeth Breakers and the Snipers are just going to work. And that really shows that the new Skaven can kind of play like the Dwarves in a sense, where you have these like spread out formations. So even if part of your army gets compromised, you're going to have really good suppression and range pressure. And the Doom Wheels in the front line have just been doing some serious work. So this is pretty serious. This is some serious stuff. Look at this. Wheels of Doom, just great, great stuff here. So anyways, the Maws of Savagery, the armored werewolves are going to be charging back in. Wheels of Doom are going to continue their zapping rampage right here. But the bounce power is actually ebbing a little bit back in the favor of Norska. I still don't think they're going to be able to come back. I feel like there's too much Skaven firepower, but this werewolf in the back is just trolling. I mean, man, that guy needs to be put down. And it looks like a Burning Head is going to be going down from the Fire Sorcerer, and it's going to be getting a little bit of damage. but Aerocrastic was able to dodge that. Some of the troops for Norska are going to be rallying here. The Miststalkers are coming back in, and maybe Falcon can pull this one back. The Marauder Chieftain, where is he? So yeah, these Miststalkers and Norse controls are down. No, this is going to be pretty bad. So the Rattling Gunners are just unleashing into this Marauder Champion. He's getting put down pretty bad. He is a little bit obstructed, but I think when he gets into open field, he's probably just going to get shot to pieces. The Jezzails here, let's see what they're shooting at. So it looks like these Gutter Runners with Poison are going to be coming back here to attack the Werewolf. But I don't know. There's still some Miststalkers coming back in. It looks like they did rally. A lot of the Norscan troops are coming back, and the Trolls are healing. So a little bit of a scary situation for the Skaven. Now, he still does have both Doom Wheels, if I'm not mistaken. The Wheels of Doom are over there in pretty good shape. Ikit Claw's in good shape. And the Marauder Chieftain is broken, but this Werewolf is going to be jumping on top of the Jezzails. And, I mean, wow, look at this. Falcon is pulling this game back. I can't believe it. A lot of that is because of the Trolls. And a lot of the units are rallying here, so the Trolls are going to be healing. And they still have all 12 models, so that means they're going to be able to heal up to relatively full health. And here you can see that the Norscan Ice Trolls are just going to be piling in. Ikit Claw going to be going after the caster, which is going to be super important. And yeah, a lot of the Skaven build is reliant on their guns and their backline tools, so he needs to free up these Jezzails here. You can see the Skin Wolf Erkin is going to be getting shanked by the Clan Rats, and he does break. So having those Jezzails opening up is going to be super good. Teethbreakers are just going full auto into these Femir, and they might be able to hold. It's going to be tough. I mean, look at these guys. Oh, this is such a great shot. Look at them just shooting in here as they're just being charged. Oh, that is so cool. The Norscan Monster Pack is going to be swarming in here. These Rattling Gunners probably going to be taken offline. Jezzails are shooting in, and the fact that they're free now is super important. The Doom Wheels are able to push off the Norscan Ice Trolls here. Ikit Claw's in a bit of a swarm, but the fact that he does cause terror here is going to be huge. And the Brass Orb is going to be going down for Ikit Claw. Man. And it looks like that's going to be it. I think Norska gets like hit with a mass like terror there in the middle, and like their units broke so many times over that they were pretty much guaranteed to shatter. And Aerocrastic pulling out a victory here. So he was on the ropes. He came back, he bobbed, he weaved, he came in with that counter left, and he's able to get a victory there. Man, what a solid game. What a solid game. I mean, Falcon almost came back there too. That was a really scary part. But the Rattling Gunners and the Jezzails did really good. The Doom Wheels were very solid. And yeah, just a Skaven Tarpet. A very, very good game here by both players. So let's update the scoreboard. Aerocrastic is on the board here, guys. We're going to see what they come out with for the next game. Perhaps we'll see some Lizardmen. Maybe we won't. I know Aerocrastic is a Skaven player, so that's probably what we're going to see for the most part. And yes, it's go time. Game 4. Here we go. Trolls are underrated for sure. I don't think they're terrible. Trolls can be pretty good. It's just a very finesse unit. You have to micro them pretty well. GG indeed. Wow. What a game. Game 4 coming in, boys. Yeah, I'll probably do a multiplayer stream this week, guys. I don't think I'm going to play any games after this. I just want to I want to go record more videos later tonight, and I don't want to shoot my hands. So yeah. But I'm going to be doing a ton of streams, and the Eternal Challenger League will be starting in the next couple weeks, if not this next weekend. So you guys will have a lot of good stuff coming. Aerocrastic stab kill Falcon. We'll see. He's a very good Skaven player. And what was really good for him is he reacted very quickly to the flank. Like when the flank came in, he was able to just like jump on top of it and do some pretty good work. One sec, guys. Just got to let the dogs out. Oh, Gooby. Gooby attacks. You guys want to meet Gooby? Gooby's our other dog. Her name's Gooby. She's great. Okay, hold on. Let's go to the caster's desk. Hold on. Come here, Gooby. Come here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, okay. She wants to play. Come on. Oh, come on, Gooby. Wookie, don't bark at me. Oh, Gooby. Here she is. This is Goober. She's a good dog. We don't really know what she is. We rescued her. How old are you like Gooby, like 6 or 7? She's a good little doglet. So this is Goob, or Rue, as we also call her. She's a lot bigger than Wookie, but she's shy. She's a little bit shy in front of the camera. But I figure we show Wookie all the time. Might as well like give Goober some love. All right, I gotta go put Goober outside real quick. Hold on. Let me switch back to the desk. All right. Just giving them the maps real quick. Oh, it looks like they might have removed Alpine Ridge from the multiplayer map pool. Interesting. Oh. Come on, Wookie. Time to go outside, little buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. Oh, Wookie, let's go. All right. Black Iron Battles is correct with his analysis. And we're going to have dwarves versus high elves. Oh my goodness. This is going to be good. On the Estalian Tomb. So we did change the map just because we couldn't find Alpine Ridge apparently. And big thanks to Sir Swagalot. He says, think a pure airborne build would destroy Falcon with a strong melee and flanking zergs. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. Maybe. I don't know. But you have to land and fight eventually. So it's not like you could just like run from him. It would have to be very like, yeah, hard to say for sure. But thank you so much for the donation, man. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. We're almost here. The war of vengeance is upon us. Although it's going to be Averlorn, I suppose, so it's not like a pure war of vengeance, but yeah, it's close enough. It's going to be great. War of vengeance. And here we go. Country roads, take me home to a place where I belong, West Virginia. Here we go. You guys want some Johnny Cash? The dwarves better take this. There were some balance changes to the Dawi. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I saw some minor stat tweaks, but I'll go ahead and... The patch notes will be out in the next couple days, and I'll do a whole video talking about that and everything. Yes, yes. Start when ready. Falcon is, of course, a very good high elf player, so we're going to see him coming out with Averlorn. I don't know, maybe we'll see Treeman. I doubt it. For the ancestors. I know a lot of you guys in chat were probably pining for some dwarves, but here we go. These heroes of the people. Well, we got to see Skaven last game. Any White Lion changes? I don't know if I saw any changes to White Lions, Alex. When is the album being released? Oh my god. It sounds too much like the original. Oh yeah. Quite a compliment. No, I'm a terrible singer. I'm so bad. Like my whole family's like musicians and like actors and like entertainers, and I'm like the only one who isn't gifted in any of those fields. But I guess I'm a YouTube entertainer, right? I guess that counts for something. It's not the same. Yeah, the Grudges. We're gonna see. Yeah, it's John Denver. Country Roads. It's like country roads take me home to a place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. It's a great song. I mean, I could do a better job if I really like projected my voice, but I don't feel like it. It's still pretty bad nonetheless. I hope these high elves just get taken to town. I do not like elf factions. I mean, it's just like dwarves are so much cooler. So much cooler. The copyright claim for... They're going to be like, oh, John Denver is being his copyright's being violated here. All right, here we go. Dwarves versus high elves. So in the back, we do have Grombrindle, the white dwarf, coming in. Don't see him terribly often. So he does have the smoke bomb, and Grombrindle has no fear. Grombrindle knows no fear, kind of like the Space Marines. It's kind of funny. He's got hammers in the front line, so he has 2 groups of hammers and the Peak Gate Guard, so he is going to be going fisticuffs with these high elves. He gives no shits. He's just going to be going to town. He does have a couple groups of Rangers as well, so the Rangers going to be doing a bit of a vanguard. He does have 5 Thunders, 2 groups of Dwarf Warriors in the back to kind of protect him, but that is a lot of cav from Falcon. Oh my goodness. I don't know how he's going to protect against all that, but I guess if he spreads out enough, he's going to be able to. His melee core should be in good shape, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. For Falcon in the front line, he does have 4 white lines, which will lose to the dwarf front line, most likely. But the real meat of his army is going to be over here in the gun line. So he does have Lariel, the Pigeon Queen, who did get nerfed, actually. Her Star of Averlorn doesn't heal quite as much. 3 Dragon Princes here. Dragon Princes are going to be, I mean, they're good targets for Thunders, but still, I mean, that's a lot of meat to get through. And I don't know if he has any Slayers. There's going to be a Noble, most likely on a Chariot as well, which is pretty much the standard protocol against Dwarves. And that is it. So this is just going to be a straight up just fisticuffs battle. I mean, we're going to see if the Dwarf guns have enough crossfire to really tear things apart. I think if Aerocrastic is able to catch Falcon's Cav Hammer with like a smoke bomb, using Grombrindle smoke bomb, I think that he's going to be maybe in okay shape. Pretty interesting stuff, seeing the triple ranger too. I don't know what they're for. Maybe it was like to deal with like sisters and things like that. Yeah. They have wronged us. What does he think he is? Dwarves are the original vampire, or the original Gunline faction, before Vampire Coast. You know, we actually didn't see a single Vampire Coast today, because they actually got nerfed pretty bad. Vampire Coast took a huge nerf on Noctilus, and the summon nerf really hurts them. Like, the nerf to summons really just is so bad for Vampire Coast. But they're still very good. I still think Vampire Coast is a top-tier faction, but perhaps that's why we didn't see them. Who knows? Oh my god, he has 5 Rangers? Where was he hiding the other ones? I didn't see those other ones. Oh my goodness. So, the battle's underway. Rangers going to be going to town and just shooting into these white lines here. And the damage will be okay. White lines have armor and some missile resist, but it's going to be okay. And it looks like the Chariot's going to be coming in as well. Aerocrastics just... It's going to be so hard to stop this massive force of just erect Dragon Princes coming in here. And you can see he's going to be falling back with the main force, but he's taking some damage. The guns are opening up. The Dawi Thunder sings, brother. It's going to be going right into these guys, and he's going to be hammering into the, or charging into the hammers here. Doing a little bit of hammering on those guys. The smoke bomb probably going to be going down from Uncle Gromby right now, and he does pop it. They're going to probably be able to get away, but I mean, that's better because the guns are going to be able to shoot them to pieces, so the Dwarven firepower is just unleashing hell on this Elven force so far. The Dragon Prince is here just taking just a brutal pounding now. He's going to be able to probably surge into the back line with these Dragon Princes here. But Dwarf Thunders aren't pushovers. They do have pretty good armor, so Dragon Princes won't kill them fast, is the thing. A massive Last Samurai volley going into the Noble right here. He's going to be taking a bit of a beating. And some of the white lines are able to get into the back, but the Peak Gate Guard just giving the unholy, or the holy business to these white lines right here. And you can see here the Noble is not having a good time. A lot of Dwarven firepower just going into him, so might be able to finish him off. But the Princes are getting into the back line. Things are getting a little bit messy now, so it's a battle that started out very well for the Dwarves, but this is the moment where, if at all, Falcon is going to be able to come back. So he's charging back here. He has his Dragon Princes relatively blobbed up. Like I said, they don't do a ton of damage against Thunders. Grombrindle has no fear, has been popped, so the entire Dwarf army is temporarily unbreakable. And yeah, the Peak Gate Guard were able to just beat down those white lines, and now they're just going to go beat down this other group, and it should be pretty good for them. But the Thunders here farming a bit of a pocket. You can see these Dragon Princes are being dragged down a little bit, lagging behind. Some of the hammers are going to be hitting them. And yeah, these Thunders are in okay shape. These Rangers are going to be shooting. That Grombrindle has no fear proc was really, really good. I think that was incredibly solid. So we're going to see if the Dwarves can continue to make their valiant stand here. So in the back, the Noble on Chariot getting the Star of Avalorn, but he is going to be moving out of it, so not getting too much of that value right there. And the Star, like I said, did get nerfed by about 10 or 15% in terms of its overall healing, so it's still super good, but it does have a little bit less impact. Over here, Alariel the Pigeon Queen doing her thing, just kind of blobbing up these troops. Thunders definitely need to fall back here. Some of the white lines are going to be surging forth. But Gromby, where's Uncle Gromby? So Gromby, it looks like he's going after the Noble here, which is going to be pretty good. The double Noble is very, very tough to deal with for the Dwarves. But he's going to be jumping in here, hopefully taking those guys out for the sake of Gromby. But Falcon's doing a very good job with his Chariots. They're just running around, causing a lot of problems. The initial engagement was very tough for him, but now that he's been able to kind of, you know, just get all the business charges here into the Dwarves, it's a little bit tough for sure. I mean, the Thunders seem like they're inundated everywhere. The Peak Gate Guard are doing very well for themselves. They're probably going to fully kill 2 groups, and it looks like another Flash Bomb went down, so that's going to be pretty good. Maybe Gromby can get some damage here. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard for the Dawi. It's just too many Cav units, and he didn't have any Slayers. I think including one group of like Dragonback Slayers would have been like game changing. I think that would be my only critique of the build, and maybe just not bringing Rangers. I just feel like Rangers aren't great here. Just going like cut all the Rangers, get like 2 Slayers and more Thunders and like a cannon or something, and I think he would have won this game most likely. But still, I mean, it's not over. I mean, the Hammers are still fighting here. He has 46. The Peak Gate Guard is still going to town. It's just going to be really tough to kill those single entities. And the Dragon Prince is still riding around. Nobles are still operational. He hasn't been able to take those guys out. And the balance power is ebbing and flowing slowly into the favor of the High Elves. Now, Gromby in the back going to be continuing to karate chop these Dragon Princes. And yeah, we do have those Dragon Princes over there who are riding down the Thunders. The Dwarves are just kind of running out of meat. I mean, they don't have a whole lot left. They have a couple guns. They have some Dwarf Warriors here, but there's still so many elite High Elves. I mean, if Uncle Gromby can get in there and maybe karate chop some of these guys, but that Earthblood right there is probably going to send the game into the favor of the High Elves. It's always been a downhill matchup for the Dwarves, but I think if you want to win it, you have to just use some Slayers. Like, you have to have something to deal with. Like, Giant Slayers are really good here because they can beat White Lions, and they can also do very well against the Elites and the Nobles and things like that. So the Hammers are doing their thing. They're still trying. I mean, they've done pretty well in terms of kills. The Pigeon Queen is in here, and I mean, if Gromby can maybe kill her somehow and she's like trapped in there, but I don't think Falcon's going to let that happen. Falcon's been doing a beautiful job with this Cav all game, just riding around, just causing a lot of problems. So yeah, crazy stuff. Rangers going to be shooting downtown on top of the White Lions, and I don't know what else there is to do. Gromby's still healthy, but I mean, he's just going to get grinded out, I think. He doesn't have too much support. I mean, there are some bows and other troops coming back online over here on the flanks, but there's still too many Dragon Princes. There's 2 Nobles. There's probably another Star of Avalorn online. I mean, maybe he's going to be able to finish these guys off, but I mean, you need Runesmiths too. I feel like Gromby is a little bit of a risky pick because he just gets kited, whereas Runesmiths, you're able to get the Runes of Wrath and Ruin on top of the Dragon Princes. But yeah, well played for sure. This was a great game. The Dawi here making their last stand against the High Elves. The Dragon Princes doing their thing. Going to be going into the back line. But it looks like with that, Falcon is going to be winning this tournament here. He's going to be winning 3-1 here in the finals. Some very close games. I mean, a couple of those games could have gone either way for sure, but this one was a little bit more in the favor of the High Elves throughout the course of the entire game. I think not having Slayers and Runesmiths was really, really punishing for that backline. But well played. I mean, a very unorthodox build from the Dwarves, but wasn't enough to stand up to the might. Are Shadow Walkers meta? No, they're not. They're not very good. Yeah, guys, so that's going to be it. Falcon is going to win the finals with a 3-1 there. Very well played to both players. It was an incredible tournament, right around the 2-hour mark, which is a nice spot for me. I'm going to be able to go get some food, and yeah, I'll be back in probably the next couple days to stream. So big congratulations to Falcon, who's going to be the champion. Let's hear a round of applause. And if some of you guys in chat, Dimmy G, some of the other mods, Misha, Wicked D, if you guys could link to Falcon's Twitch channel and Aerocrastic's YouTube channel as well, that would be very helpful. And if not, it'll be in the comment section afterwards, and also the Discord channel. So yeah, it was a risky build. It was a risky build. I think you need Runesmiths. I think it's a little bit too tough to go without those guys. But so very well played to those guys. We'll be back with the stream in the next couple days. Maybe we'll be able to do something tomorrow in terms of streaming. I might be able to jump on and do maybe just like a round robin type thing where I just we take turns playing games with people. I don't know. We'll do something tomorrow. It probably won't be like a structured tournament, but very well played to both players. Everyone in the tournament did super well. Falcon's going to be taking the victory over Aerocrastic there. King of the Dead with some very, very solid games. Romulan Dog and Falcon had a great series as well. So make sure to check all those out. The video will be uploaded in a couple hours. And that's that for now. That is that for now. Big thanks to donations from Sir Swags-a-lot, Sam Hosking, Alexander, Zenturio, Constantine P, Sir Swag-a-lot again, coming in twice with the steel chair, the Spark, and Mr. Medic, who is now a channel sponsor. And let me go ahead and make sure that I didn't miss any donations from folks who may have gone through the PayPal. No, we're all good to go. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. There's a lot of other streams to go feast on, so make sure to go check those out. I believe Spartacus is streaming. I think Zotek was streaming as well, and on Twitch. And maybe Aerocrastic and Falcon and those guys will stream as well. Who knows? The night is young. The night is young indeed. Yes. Hey, Wicked D, thanks for your help. Misha, Dimmy, all you guys who are helping in the moderator pool. Black Iron Battles coming in, just doing some serious work. You guys are awesome. And MGL Kaiser, the screen that I have, I can actually check that for you before I go. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure it's in my YouTube section. Are you asking about my computer monitor? Because if you are, let me. Oh no, we don't want to do this. Hold on. And let's go to the About section. I think I have it there. Yeah, so it's a Samsung CF. Here, I'll just link it in chat. It was a super fun event. Very well played, all the players. That was just even matches across the board. It was really fun for you before I go. Okay, let me do this. And yeah, here's the monitor I use, if you're wondering. It's pretty good. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Make sure to go check out some of the other streamers and support the community. And we will see you guys in the next couple days. Cheers, and big congratulations to Falcon, the winner of the grand $50 prize. All right, guys. See you soon, and thanks again for watching. Cheers.